Here we go, everybody. Capes and Cowls is back. But as I say that, I realize the intro is not. Because the real truth, I forgot. That's it. But we have a lot to talk about today. A lot to discuss. There's a brand new day teaser revealing first look at Peter. Not the teaser itself, but it's a little snippet of what the costume could look like. Got Coy on to talk about that. He's Spider-Man junkie. What does it mean? James Gunn's talking about a Superman sequel. We talked about this yesterday, but it's not Superman 2. So we said yesterday. But there's a lot of other things we'll talk about. Fantastic Four passes 150 in the U.S. and Superman becomes Man of Steel's first movie to reach 300 million. We got that and more on the show today. Can the guys beat Roxy and Mike this week? That is the question. It's a battle of the bands. It is Winston and Coy versus Mike and Roxy. Can it happen? We shall see. Here is hopefully the last show without the Capes opening. I'll bring that back next week. Here we go. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's Capes and Cowls. And on the show with me today is Winston A. Marshall coming in hot. And of course, maybe not even of course, maybe look who's back. Slim Shady himself.
That's more the thing. Welcome back.
After his,
I made it 5 of the last 9 weeks, and this month I'm going to try for 5 weeks in a row.
Look at that. So the rendezvous you've been having, whether you're at Comic-Con, it was Comic-Con. Do you share the sentiment of what everybody else said? It was like pretty easy to walk around on the floor. Or was it kind of a much different?
I only touched the floor on Sunday. I was in interview suites all of Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday we shot my HBO show on the floor.
Okay.
But I didn't get a sense of how easy it was because it was with cameras and it was like
I
had the most chaotic time.
I see. I've been there. I understand how that goes. It's like you could kind of I can see floor. It doesn't matter. I have to interview from 9 in the morning until 9 at night.
Yeah, but it's like it was so easy. As I was like, not my experience.
No.
I was like this. I just got my voice back. I'm so excited.
Yeah. You blink, and the day's over. But that's good. So there was, there not a ton of news that really came out of it, but in general, it seems like people had a good time.
Yeah, it was a fun con. Like I think it was. I went before the Twilight era, so I've seen it from both sides of pop culture con. I like when comic books are front and center. Sure. It's a little less profitable, but it's a fun time. Yeah, it's just a different experience. But all right, so we were going back and forth, Luke and I, today about the main topic, and I said, well, Coy's back on the show too. Let's talk about some Spider-Man stuff. And there is Spider-Man stuff. Spider-Man Brand New Day teaser reveals first look at Peter Parker's new suit and makes one big change. Comic book movie. First teaser for Spider-Man Brand New Day has been released, and it offers a tantalizing glimpse of the web slinger's new costume, and it finally has raised webbing. Check out the video, I guess. Spider-Man Brand New Day is about to begin shooting in Glasgow, Scotland. Sony is looking to get ahead of the paparazzi with an official suit reveal. This teaser stops short of showing the whole thing off, but confirms one major, sure-to-be-welcome change, raised web on the costume. Marvel Studios didn't head down that route in any of the Wallcrawler's previous MCU appearances, including the amazing suit featured at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. It clearly won't be carried over to Brand New Day, as this suit is also a slightly darker shade of red. The logo on Peter Parker's chest appears to have stayed the same as No Way Home's final swing suit, at least. Kevin Feige recently confirmed that the Web Slinger's next movie is going to be more of a street level adventure, and Spidey's new status quo will clearly be reflected in what he wears. Gone are the days of his technology advanced Stark Tech suit. Today is Spider-Man's Day, so here is what we get a reveal. Yada yada yada. I feel like I owe it to fans to give and deliver the best version of what the chapter for Spider-Man looks. And I think it's important. I think the creative integrity for something that is really important, and the studio's on board and supportive. All right, here's this teaser. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Got the music. Oh, that's it.
That was quick.
Very brief. So, Coy, out of that, what do you make?
Raised webbing is exciting for, movie Spider-Man fans. It feels like a throwback. And it's funny, we're living in this really nostalgic era with Superman feeling like the golden age and silver age Fantastic Four. It's interesting now we're leaning into like a Toby feel, which is 20 years ago now.
Right.
I think it's fantastic. We're getting a view more.
Yeah,
more.
Yeah.
Oh God. But I think it's fantastic. We're getting a take on the character that feels familiar, but also shows that it's a stark difference from the mechanized suits. And we're getting more of a street level. We've had Kevin Feige talk about street level. Now we're having Tom Holland talk about the creative freedom he's getting and all these things. So I love to see them get ahead of a paparazzi shot. Like we're actually getting a little, 9-second teaser to show this, as opposed to like, oh, we're getting someone in a tree 800 feet away. Like, I think it's a smart move.
We had that debate. Well, not even a debate. We're all in agreement, really, about why we all thought it should be street level, and we didn't think it was going to because of the multiverse angle. And clearly, there'll be some of the multiverse stuff maybe in the post-credit scene or whatever as it leads into Doomsday. But it's pretty refreshing to hear Feige say that they are going to do street level, because I think they had to have those conversations of, look, in our last movie, Winston, we promised that nobody knows who he is as Peter Parker. They don't know. They just know him as Spider-Man. He's living in his little dinky apartment, which was shades of that kind of Tobey Maguire thing when he in Spider-Man 2 and 3. We gotta do that promise that we gave to the fans, and we got to show that street level Spidey. Tom Holland hasn't had a chance to do that. So, do you believe this is the right move to do?
I mean, it's what so many people have been clamoring for. So I would think so. It's not to say that Spider-Man doesn't play massive parts in the bigger picture. He very much does. But I think what's being forgotten, and it's something that we've said in general that I think has kind of made a lot of superhero movies spiral. Instead of focusing on the character and the world of the character and honing in on that, everything is always about the bigger picture. The bigger picture can be a part of it, but that can't be the focus. So I think like why, say, Fantastic Four has been resonating pretty well is it really be partially because they're on a different Earth, but they're just focused on themselves, and then we get to the end and go, oh, here comes something new. I think that's what has kind of been missing this whole time. There's been too much cross-pollination. So I think this idea of letting him just be Spider-Man and not be, the bitch that went to space,
right,
just important,
super important. And Coy, same thing. We've been discussing it like forever that it should be street level. It's the best move, right?
I think it's the best move, and I think the suit reflects that. I know it's just a teaser. I know it's just showing raised webbing, and I know it's the first day of filming, but I think it's really smart to start your marketing now in a way that doesn't reveal anything, because now we get a conversation like we're having about street level, about raised webbing, and then the next conversation will be about the suit reveal, and then the next conversation will be about the villain reveal. This gives you a year of lead up. This movie's out in a year from today, July 31st next year. We get Spider-Man Brand New Day, and today's Spider-Man Day. There's like a National Spider-Man Day every year, so they're starting to film on Spider-Man Day, starts the conversation, does it in a way that doesn't reveal too much. I like that we're getting so much misinformation. I love the campaign on this because they're leaking out stuff that they're not actually doing. They're getting people to run crap reports. And I think that more studios should make sure Jeff has a lot to type some of it true.
Yeah.
Great. It's good marketing.
Well, I got to then call you out on something then, if that's okay.
Sure.
I saw a short from The Real Rejects to where you said Moon Knight Season 2 is coming out. You said they announced Moon Knight Season 2. And I said, when did they do that? And Greg in the thing says, when did they do that? You said they announced it last week. I looked, no announcement of a Moon Knight Season 2. And Oscar Isaac said that it was that you'll probably see him in a movie, but there's no plans for a TV show. What happened there?
I had no idea they were going to clip that out. I had heard from someone I really, really trusted. And then, here I am.
Damn, Coy.
Okay.
Damn, Coy.
I love it. You own it.
Yeah. Oh, I totally own it. And like by the time it got clipped, I was like, that was a week ago. We shot that a week ago. And it was like said like flippantly, right. But yeah, sorry, Moon Knight heads. Moon Knight heads.
Fair enough. Either way though, Spider-Man is
but I do get the addiction, by the way. It was really funny to see something that was like taken and ran with, and then I was like, oh well, this is what it feels like. So I'm glad I got Greg some clicks, and I see the dark power in
the next time you need to leave it to Conchu, bro.
Yeah, I just gotta lie more.
Like, I couldn't, but no. Well, that was I don't believe you were
'Cause
lying.
I thought it was true.
That's my whole point. This is what but I've said this about you many times. I said this yesterday. I said Coy can say something so convincingly that he believes that everyone else believes. Like, yesterday I said, Kristian, it's amazing. You're like, the fact that you are this Latino voice is just incredible. And I'm just like, am I Latino? I didn't think I had Latino at all. But Coy said, I guess it's true.
Bro, this is why I know that Coy's been running the longest grift of all time. He talks with such an energy and such a passion that everything that, like you said, that comes out of his mouth seems like the truth. This is just so he can pull one over on us in the long run. That's all that shit is.
100%.
Yes, when I'm cast as Green Arrow, when at the long game comes.
Right. Well, no, just say it already happened.
Guys, I can't wait.
Green Arrow. Someone will clip it out and be like, they announced it that he's Green Arrow. I was like, yeah, I guess so. Anyway, so I think we're all in agreement that this makes sense that they're doing this with Spider-Man anyway. You have to. You have to do this, and it leads into, and it gives us more of a, as I think Corey, you made a great point earlier with what they're doing with Fantastic Four, kind of going old school with them, the way Superman went old school. I like going back and seeing this old school feel, and we've had the MCU big budgeted, well, this will be big budgeted, but big event Spider-Man before, especially for Tom Holland. To see him come down a little bit more, the way that they set it up, I think it's the right move. What do you guys think of it, though? Is it the right move? Is it not the right move? Put your thoughts in there, man. I want to know what you guys think. Is this the right thing to do? And what do you think about the suit? Is the suit something, albeit a small tease, is it something that looks pretty interesting? And do you see that kind of old school feel with it? All right, moving on. The other thing with Marvel right now is their TV shows haven't been getting the biggest push. Ironheart didn't get a huge push as far as marketing went. Kind of came and went. A lot of their stuff, they're putting on TV, is kind of not as big of a push as you would hope. And I think Black Panther, Wakanda, the new series, it's what's it? Eyes of Wakanda.
Eyes of Wakanda.
Did that drop today?
It dropped today, right? And the fact that Winston, the fact that you just asked, did it drop today?
Didn't know off rip. I knew it was coming out this week. I just wasn't sure if it was Wednesday, if it was today,
And it's pretty nuts that's and we've all been looking forward to this one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's then get into, and for people asking about DC stuff, you've never watched this show before. We, instead of what we do is we'll cover the Marvel stuff, then we're going to cover all the DC stuff. So stop this now, please. I ask you to stop this. Just stop it. Black Panther 3, the release date has finally been revealed. That's another one. Ryan Coogler is hard at work on the next Black Panther movie. A new report claims to reveal whether it will return to Wakanda. You can get a full breakdown of what we know after the jump. It's no secret that filmmaker Ryan Coogler is hard at work at Black Panther 3 screenplay, with a recent report suggesting his ideas for the threequel are generating excitement among Marvel Studio executives. It appears that the movie will kick off the next saga of storytelling after Avengers Secret Wars concludes the multiverse saga in December 2027. According to Jeff Schneider on the hot mic, Black Panther 3, that's February 2028. It's going to start production at the top of 2027. Will be in the theaters February 2028. Marvel Studios has scheduled an untitled MCU movie for February 18th, 2028. We have good reason to believe that the plan is to reintroduce T'Challa after Shuri took his place in 2021 Black Panther Wakanda Forever, whether it's an adult version of Saint, aka Prince T'Challa, or simply a new version of Black Panther who returns with a different face in the post-Secret Wars timeline remains to be seen. Black Panther found great success in theaters in February 2018 and established the overhauled MCU by putting the spotlight on the next character. To hold the mantle makes sense on multiple levels. Late last year, Denzel Washington revealed Coogler had cast him in Black Panther 3 while nothing has been confirmed. HB and Magneto are, is that right? HB?
I thought it was Achibe.
Could be. Achibe and Magneto are among the names we've heard from the Scoopers, claiming to know who the screen icon will play in the MCU threequel. The Black Panther franchise has never struggled to attract top-tier talent, but someone like Washington joining a comic book franchise is a huge deal and could be a game changer for Marvel Studios as a whole. Okay, so then also jumping into Eyes of Wakanda here. Well, the ending, I don't want the ending explained, but the show is coming out. I guess people are already diving into it, and it just, the idea that the show came out, I guess people are digging it, people who have seen it, but as Winston just said, they dropped it. And I did you know? Coy, did you see it already?
I did. It was supposed to drop at the end of the month, and then I know they moved it up once. I thought they moved it up to give it a weekly release, and then they moved it up again like 4 days ago to August 1st. Like this new date, like there's a reason Winston didn't realize it. It just moved and it came out at once today, which is crazy.
Because they did another like big trailer release like about a week ago, and I was gonna respond to it. I didn't have time just with stuff going on, and then I was like, wait, it's already coming? Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. I didn't even. On top of that, I didn't realize it was so short. It's only 4 half-hour episodes. So it's essentially just 2 hours.
Why not just do a movie at that point?
That's what I was gonna say. Do a movie. Do like a something. But that's a little weird, in my opinion. But I will check it out.
What did you think about it, Coy?
I liked the writing and the themes a lot. Like the actual substance of the story I enjoyed, but I didn't love the animation style. So like I really enjoyed the backdrops and the painted and this like lush world they built. And that ties into the themes, that ties into the really tight writing. The writing's like exceptional, but when the writing's rough, it's like with a comic. Like if you don't like the artist, it's hard to enjoy the comic just because that's the narrative use of the story. So I really struggled with the animation style. So it's not like amongst my favorite of the animated stuff or of the MCU, but I really like the resonance it's left me with. But while watching, it took me a while to connect. The first 2 episodes, it took me a little bit. I really liked the second 2, but I don't know if that's just because I adjusted.
So it's not like they're like different things that happen, like different.
It's an anthology, so they're all pretty disconnected. There are things that happen in one that affect 2,
but it has nothing. But it's similar to like What If, even though you're watching it, it has nothing to do with the overall scheme of the MCU.
When you get to the end, there are elements that tie into the greater MCU, but they're not like it's more thematic than it's not homework. Like you don't need to see it to like the MCU, but it is something that enhances Wakanda directly.
Yeah. I've been interested to see it, but I don't know. In the same way that, look, you guys raved about that Spider-Man show also, right? And I haven't had even an inkling of. I'm finishing The Bear season 3.
I liked The Bear this season. A lot of people didn't. I dug it.
I liked it too. Dude, there's a scene. You've seen the whole thing?
Yeah.
The scene with Jamie Lee Curtis and
in the house with Jeremy Allen White.
Super behind.
I knew exactly.
I'm not going to spoil anything with him, but I'm just saying there's a scene between.
Wait, you're on season 3 as well? Or are you on season 4?
4.
I'm still on 3. I'm very behind.
And dude, Rob Reiner this season as an actor.
Oh, it's great. I like the season a lot. I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah, I dug it.
But anyway, my point is that there's so many.
Spider-Man.
And then this morning, I said to myself, I go, oh, you know what I'm going to watch next? Tulsa King season 2, and 3 is coming out soon. These animation, they're so low on my list. They're so low on my list because they used to be high on my list because I'm like, oh, what's it really going to mean overall? Is it part of the homework? And I guess it's a good thing it's not part of the homework.
But then What If kind of showed us like, oh, we're going to value it like this much.
And X-Men 97 had nothing to do with the continuity, and I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. So
I guess that's my only thing that I'm so curious about is that, like, obviously I think X-Men 97 is in a class of its own, but like Invincible, Coy too, but I've been trying to convince you for a couple years now. It is up there as far as that storytelling goes and everything like that. So I'm just so curious why you were able to lock in X-Men 97, but not Invincible. And I know what you mean, that there's a lot going on. I agree with you. The fact that I'm still on season 3 of The Bear speaks to it in and of itselp. But
I think that's what it is.
I haven't watched any Tulsa King.
I barely rememred that was a show.
Right, Frank Villa. That's why I want to watch. And 3's come back and it did really, really well. And so I'm really excited to see it. And I want to go back, and then probably Mobland is another one that I want to get to. So those are just so low on my list. In general, like the kind of animation that I've been responding to these days are things like Arcane. You know, like
this is very similar to Arcane style, to give it its flowers.
This is?
Yeah. I think if you like Arcane, you'll like this.
Really? Did you watch Arcane?
Yeah, I could not get into it for the life of me.
Wow.
I gave it 4 episodes, which was
4 episodes.
A lot of my life that I wish I had back. I felt like I was watching someone play a video game.
God damn.
I was bored out of my gourd. I was like on my phone most of the time trying to engage.
Wow, that to me
I-
is some of
that
that's some of
is-
the
that
best
is-
storytelling in animation. I think that
And I
I've seen.
wanted to love it. I like.
Yeah.
I know everyone raves. It's like the show, and it was season 1. I just couldn't find my way
Right.
in.
Fair enough.
Oh,
I
shit.
love it.
I'm glad everybody's got that
Yeah.
show.
I love it. But did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters? You did.
Sure did try.
You didn't like that either. Wow, you just.
What?
Just loud, like people
Wow.
just like flailing and yelling and.
I'm surprised you didn't like that one because that one they had the same style as the Into the Spider-Verse.
It was just the scream acting and yelling and singing that I just.
Really? Oh wow, that was another one that I dug. Anyway, Coy, you're heartless. So
It's easy that way. South Park,
Heartless,
K-pop.
heartless.
I know you
Mark.
hate South Park. I'm surprised
How
you.
do you hate South Park? What the hell?
It's just not funny to me. It's like I like a good.
You're not funny to me.
Yeah,
but-
you're funny to me.
Disappear.
You Moon Knight liar.
I come back 1 week and I'm kicked off the show.
Moon Knight liar. Yeah. Anyway, so what do you guys make of? We didn't even talk about the other stuff too before I do that. The Black Panther 3 and the fact that it's going to be a potential trilogy or what they're going to do, where they're going to go forward with it. Now, that's where I was a little confused. This is the third in the trilogy, or they're going to do a new trilogy? Is that what it seems like? Like 3, 4, and 5 of a new trilogy, or they're just ending this trilogy here?
I don't think you get Coogler for 3 more. I just can't.
I would
you know
hope
what I mean?
not.
I would hope he
not.
doesn't. I would hope that he wants to do nothing but produce them. Like I would hope that he steps away from writing and directing them, not because he's not fantastic, but just being able to see what he can do under his own.
Yeah,
like is fantastic. So I'm like, yeah, keep him on as a producer to like make sure that the world that he built, stays intact. But otherwise, I really hope he spreads his wings.
Yeah, me too. But let's say this is the end of the trilogy, right?
That's what I'm assuming too.
We should. The fact that 2028, it seems like they're going to have like this kind of standalone Black Panther movie that's not going to be connected to the multiverse, because at that point, Secret Wars will hopefully have ended all that. So we're going to have a new standalone Black Panther with the new Black Panther that will ultimately allow us to do that. I think everybody will be able to move on and have healed from the loss of Chadwick and be accepting of a brand new Black Panther. I do think it'll be is it Damson Idris? I think it'll be him. And I think that, and after seeing him in F1, I think it should be him. So
I think he would absolutely crush the role.
I think he'd be great. I think he'd be able to bring what T'Challa is all about, and I'm excited to see if that's the case. But if it is indeed the case, being out in 2028, I think Denzel's pretty much a lock with this one. But Winston, you think 2028 is in the end? Plus the fact that Marvel has already held that February date. We know that they've had success with Black Panther, obviously in February, Black History Month, and so this seems like it all adds up. Yes.
Yeah, I think that the timing makes sense. I think you need to focus right now on closing out kind of the multiversal stuff. So, I'm sure whatever's going to happen, it's already been rumored that T'Challa is coming during Secret Wars. Great. Shuri's in there. Great. Do what you need to do. Then worry about this afterwards. Then similar to what you did kind of with Guardians, you closed out the main Infinity Saga, and then you got Guardians 3 a little bit into the next phase and all that. Same thing. You'll get Black Panther 3 a little bit into the next phase, and the focus will be the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, as it should be. We saw what they did with Fantastic Four, and we know how much people love the X-Men. That should be the focus as soon as we're done with Secret Wars. So
yeah. And Coy, how are you feeling about all this?
I think it's interesting it comes out in 2028 because it is probably a new Black Panther in that way. So now I'm wondering if it is a new trilogy. Thinking about the timing, like February 2028 would be one of the first things we get post Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is like November 2027, December 2027. So this is like 2 months after. What if we launch the post Secret Wars universe with new Black Panther?
And not X-Men?
I mean, I know X-Men is going to be probably the forefront. Like that'll probably be like the anchor, but like if the timing lines up, I don't think they'd do, okay, the universe is over.
Right.
Tie into the old Wakanda. Like that'd be,
Let's do the math. Let's do the math. So you have 2026 is Doomsday, right? So and then that's December or November rather, right?
Yeah.
And then the following year is November 2027. Well, you're gonna have Spider-Man before that. Before
Spider-Man Brand New Day is summer, and that's winter.
And then and then there's something that's is Secret Wars confirmed for November of 2028?
It's a year after
2027? Sorry, 2027?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're probably right, because if otherwise, that comes out, what else would you do? So I think you're 100% right. If you have Black Panther, then you introduce the new Black Panther in Secret Wars. You get people excited for the new Black Panther as a movie in February, and then that'll be about 3 years out before Fantastic Four, probably 2.
Yeah.
And then Fantastic Four 2 will probably come out in the summer of that year.
And I think that'll be the Fantastic Four in the new universe. I think they come to ours, and then that'll be a new take on them fish out of water style. Yeah,
and you can either do X-Men in December of that year or hold until December of 2029, which seems a little ambitious.
I think they want to launch X-Men soon, because it sounds like they're casting. It sounds like they're like actively working on that. So I'd say in the next 3 years, because they have Jake Schreier, they're doing all the things to make it move forward. But it'd be interesting. I could see them either doing, I'd say like a 20% chance Black Panther 3 is an epilogue, like post Secret Wars, like something to conclude something.
Right.
Because it's so close. We're talking 3 months. That's right after. But I would 80% say it's something to launch a new universe, kicking off with a very iconic character, a new take on the character in a new world. And maybe that is a new trilogy, but it's the timing's crazy. Like, that is a very interesting thing, November to February.
No, it is 1,000%. I mean, I think the other thing about it, though, is that it also opens up this idea that if we're, say, for example, going to get our new Storm in Secret Wars, one way or the other, we don't know yet, obviously, who all is going to be involved and whatnot. That is another whole thing that can then be involved as like a big storyline anyway, is T'Challa and Storm being together. And if you know that the X-Men are coming, I think that's also another good way to usher in a new era for Wakanda and however you want to go about that. So I think it all kind of aligns a little bit, in my opinion.
What do you guys say on all this? On Eyes of Wakanda, you can be watching it. You can check it out. Are you excited for it? Did you see it? What did you think? As far as Black Panther 3 goes, how's it going to play? How's the lineup going to happen after Avengers Secret Wars? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Before we get into our next topic, and we got a bunch of other ones, we are going to tell you guys, as we always tell you about, Rouge Yet. I've been telling you about them all week. I'll tell you about them right now. Then we'll be right back, man. All right. I know you all heard of Viagra or Cialis, maybe even tried them. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, I got it. Rouge Yet Ready. If the usual pill isn't doing the trick, Rouge Yet Ready, it could be the answer. It's a 3-in-1 formula. It dissolves under your tongue, absorbs fast. You'll be ready in just 15 minutes on average, not hours, and effects can last up to 36 hours. That means that you're going to stay confident, you're going to stay present, and in control when the moment is right. Getting started is super simple. Rouge Yet connects you with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships directly to your door. Connect with a provider at rougeyet.com/Kristian to see if a Rouge Yet Ready prescription is right for you. You can get the code Kristian to get 15% off today. rougeyet.com/Kristian. Use that promo code Kristian to get 15% off today. Head on over to rougeyet.com/Kristian. Use that code Kristian to get 15% off today. Use the code to support the show, and so Rouge Yet knows that we sent you. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rouge Yet website for full safety information. Thank you to Rouge Yet, man. Make sure you are doing that. You'll thank me for what I promise. The links are in the description. All right, few things, guys. Part 1. We got Mike and Roxy to compete with right now at 133.
Okay.
You guys currently at 26 with only half an hour into the show. It's pretty damn good. It's a good shot. So in order to get to 134, I'm going to need a little bit of a boost, but the audience seems to be asking you a lot of questions right now, so you might be in good standings. The second thing is, I haven't told you guys yet, but we have pretty much secured a director for the pilot.
Nice.
Nice. You know, we have once we get we're doing, Martini and I are doing some addendums to the script, sending that back off, and then we're probably going to start launching a Kickstarter. Probably, I think most likely September is what it looks like, and it's a lofty goal because we're going to be trying to go for some big some outside talent also, and we're going to be doing some locations and other things. So we have been asking the audience for ideas for things that they want to see, things that one of the things that we'll probably wind up doing, at least I'll be doing, and having all you guys kind of join in when you can, is I'll be doing probably a full week, if not more, of just full day live streams and having people kind of come in talking and then really promoting that. Because one of the things that at the highest tier, we're thinking about letting people be extras in scenes and videos from behind the scenes and other fun things. So we're putting a lot of ideas and thoughts because we want to shoot this like a full on produced streaming pilot already. Like it already happened. You know what I mean?
Where are you thinking of shooting? East Coast, West Coast?
It's going to be LA show. Yeah, it's based in LA. So
I thought so with the comedy scene. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean the comedy scene is a brief part in the beginning of it.
They're just different comedy scenes. I mean, you'd know better than I, but East Coast.
It is, but it's really not about stand-up comedy. It's like the opening scene takes place in a comedy club, but the rest of it is essentially, but it's LA based. It's LA based. So yeah, so we'll see, and I'll be having more conversations. I'm hoping that we'll be able to announce the director soon, but we shall see. All right, let's get to some DC talk. This is a big story. Tim Burton's Batman movies are returning to theaters and Dolby Cinema for one night only this month. I wish it wasn't one night only, which was a weekend like they did. Didn't they do a full weekend for like Spider-Man 3 and stuff?
For like the Star Wars movies, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I thought so. Like a full weekend. Anyway, Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns are returning to theaters later this month for one night only, when they will screen in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos for the first time. Fans of The Dark Knight who never got the opportunity to see Tim Burton's Batman movies on the big screen are in luck, unless they happen to have plans on August 25th. Batman 1989, Batman Returns 1992, returning to theaters for one night engagement later this month, exclusively at Dolby Cinema locations. The remastered versions of both movies will play at over 160 Dolby Cinema at AMC theater locations across North America. This marks the first time both films will be presented in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. I hadn't watched these films since I made them, and seeing them again with this level of clarity, beauty, color, and sound felt really new and exciting, said Tim Burton. Dolby Atmos and Vision brought it all to life in a fresh way. So Batman Returns remain seminal films in the history of the superhero genre. The new presentation of these films honors Tim Burton's bold creativity while showcasing how far audio and image technology have evolved. Okay, so yeah, that was, I guess, my opening note is my next note. Well, why not do this for a full weekend? Boy, don't you think that they should take a shot at that?
I think the Spider-Man movies did one night each leading up, and I think there's like I don't know if this is true, but I do think there is a meaning behind scarcity. Like if you only have it for one night, people are more likely to make themselves go versus like, it's playing all weekend, I'll catch it Sunday, and then not go at all. I think there actually is like maybe merit in trying it out. I'd love if there were like anniversary screenings, like in 2029 for the 40th anniversary, they do a whole weekend. But I think it's good to kind of test the waters. It's also probably easier to book out, if you've got movies coming out and stuff. But the fact they're doing this with, they're doing a full re-release of the director's cut of Spider-Man 2, which no one's seen, like a director's cut of Spider-Man 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just did an announcement. I got an email today about Casper getting a 30th anniversary.
I saw that, yeah.
So I think this is smart, man. Movie theaters need it. So I think the one night is to test the waters and also like make sure people go. But I would like to see more grow.
So you think though, if they do, if they're able to do good business on day one, that they might re-release this again for a weekend?
I think if they do good business now, when they have an anchor or a reason, like say Batman gets announced, then you tie it in, or there's an anniversary. I think we'll see these nights grow into more than one night. But I think right now, while they're starting to do this more commonly, they need to make sure you go that day. Like you need to make sure people actually show up.
What do you think, Winston?
Yeah, I think it is the limiting thing. I think probably the one little bit of fear that they got, though this was just stupid on Sony's part, was the whole Morbius shit. The re-releasing of Morbius, because I saw all the memes going on and they were like, oh, they actually love this movie. So I think there's a baby bit of fear about really buying the space to put it back out there, even though this is like a beloved classic. I think Koi is onto something, that they're doing it for a night, if you make it a special event, all of a sudden you get people clamoring and you guarantee your theater is sold out versus you put it out for a whole weekend and you get some people that are excited, some people that aren't, you know what I mean? I just wish if they were going to do that, announce it far enough in advance that, you know, I think that that's maybe how you get away with doing more nights. You just like, hey, we're going to tell you about it 2 months in advance instead of 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess so. I think just one night though, yeah, as fun as that is, it just limits it. I mean, those are really big popular movies. Maybe depending on when, maybe just not in August. Maybe if you did it closer to October, especially with the second Batman, probably would do well. But hey, let's see how they do on that one night. And like Coy said, maybe they look at the success and say, all right, let's do this again and bring it back.
I'd love if Christmas movies actually played the week of Christmas. Like it'd be cool to see Batman like Returns play Christmas week, and like
that'd be fun.
You know, they do Die Hard at like second house theaters, but I'd love Lethal Weapon back. I think it'd be really special. Even like weird stuff like Kiss Kiss.
I still think on top of that, some of the more cinematic shows and things like that, I think they still need to like put out Mandalorian in theaters like that.
Licensing issues. I've been trying to get those played, Winston. I've been having legal stuff. It's actually like they're not, when they're made, they're licensed differently.
Yeah. I also think that it's the excitement of people getting out in the theater in general is tough. Getting them to go out to the theater to pay to go see something they can watch on their TV screens, like as a TV show. Because I mean, that's like you gonna put a full season of Mandalorian. I mean, that's like what? How many hours is that? 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, no,
but like Stranger Things with those 3-hour chunks would be dope. Like
the finale,
I mean, like that would be cool
if you did like the last one in the theater.
Yeah, like I hope they do something for the last one. But like the way they're releasing them in chunks, I'd be there.
Netflix.
Oh snap! They're releasing the the original Ninja Turtles movie.
That's what you just said.
I didn't say that.
No, Coy said that.
Bitch, no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
It's like he's back. Winston's back, folks.
Go back. Coy's back. Coy's back. Go back.
And you know why it makes so much sense that you didn't hear it? Because when he said it, I thought you were going to, here comes a big reaction from Winston when he said that. Crickets. You were staring out the window at your people mowing your lawn.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Sweet
anyway,
baby
what do you
Jesus.
guys make of this? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know in general. Batman, are you going to go see it? 89, you going to see the second one? You going to go and check it out? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Speaking of Batman, I thought this was an interesting story. Hence why I'm going to talk about it. The Sandman showrunner reveals that a Batman cameo in the series finale was briefly considered. I guess there's spoilers for the Sandman. So if you didn't already know anything about Sandman, here, where is it? Let's see if I can do it. Do I have the skills? Probably not. Skills. All right. So Sandman showrunner reveals there was a Batman cameo. Though the connections became more tenuous and the series went on, Neil Gaiman's The Sandman was very much set within the main DC Comics universe with appearances from the likes of Martian Manhunter, Mr. Miracle, and even Batman, who showed up at Murphy's funeral in the wake. Interesting. You know that. Which one? The DCEU? Oh, main DC Comics universe. Sorry. A few vague references aside, the Netflix series mostly avoids any direct DC nods, but co-creator showrunner Alan Heinberg reveals their cameo from Batman was discussed. We talked about it. Does Robert Pattinson want to come to the funeral briefly? We did discuss it, but only briefly. Getting Pattinson on board would probably have been a mission and a half, but they could have shown the Dark Knight's unmistakable cowl from the back as the mourners are making their way inside the palace. Speaking of Superman, the bonus episodes that's currently streaming, Death, the High Cost of Living, include several blatant references to Man of Steel, who is Sexton's favorite comic hero. Okay. So would this have been a good move for I think the answer is obviously it would have brought more eyes to that show. But I guess here's the better move, Winston. Would this have been a good move for Matt Reeves and Pattinson to put him in there, or nothing?
I don't think it would have done anything. I think it would have been bigger for Sandman,
right?
But I don't know. There was all the drama with Sandman and why it was canceled in the first place. I think that would have just been a PR move to try and people that they maybe lost to kind of circle back around. So I don't think that this would have really done anything all that special per se, but I mean, it's still cool. Like, let me clarify, even from the earlier comments about Spider-Man, it's still cool to see the crossover stuff happen. It's just you don't want to make the entirety of it that way. So seeing Batman show up would have been dope, but it's not okay.
What about you, Corey? What do you think?
I think it would have been confusing for everyday audiences because, as it is, Sandman is a Vertigo comic, which is, yes, DC. But when you see those characters start to cross over, a lot of people are removed from the tone and the specificity of that world. I really like Watchmen. And then when they brought Watchmen into the DC Comics universe, I was a little alienated at first. And I think that would have happened, but on a bigger scale with like a watchful Netflix audience. So I kind of am okay with them not. I think it would have been good for ratings, but unless they're going to start doing a lot of that ethereal, very broad, heady stuff in mainstream cape stuff, I don't know if that would work for audiences.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think that and I agree exactly what Winston said. It would have been great for Sandman. Probably people would have tuned in, and maybe if you're DC and you say, "Hey, can we get Pattinson just to go to the funeral?" and that's it. Get some eyes on this thing, but
it would have blown my mind as a nerd. I just think it would have been like an alienating thing for most people.
Probably. Anyway, what do you guys think? You agree with that? Disagree with that? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Superman. James Gunn teases Superman sequel. That is not Superman 2. Weighs in on toxic fans following the San Diego Comic-Con threats. So let's go with this one. Here is, despite seemingly confirming plans for Superman's sequel, James Gunn has reiterated that his next project will simply put the Man of Steel front and center. He's also weighed in on toxic fandoms. Josh Wilding writes, yesterday, DC Studios' James Gunn seemingly confirmed that he's developing a Superman sequel. The movie has become the Man of Steel's first solo outing to pass $300 million at the U.S. box office and recently surpassed $500 million worldwide. A sequel would make sense then, but just as fans are starting to get excited, the filmmaker clarified that he was referring to the next movie he's writing that will see Superman play a big role in the story, but isn't Superman 2. This is the same movie, he told a fan on Thread. Superman has a major role. It's not Superman 2. He later added it's a ways off and somewhat muddled the waters by sharing his definition of a direct sequel. I'm not sure how you define direct sequel. I pretty much think of Peacemaker Season 2 as a direct sequel. Gunn has seemingly shot down the idea of the movie being a world's finest team-up with the Batman and with Supergirl set to swoop into theaters next summer. It's hard to say what the Kryptonians' next DCU project will be. Superman vs. the Authority has been mentioned online, suggesting Gunn could make a Guardians of the Galaxy-style ensemble with the Man of Tomorrow front and center. If that is the plan, it's likely based on Grant Morrison's Superman and the Authority comic book series. This is now the... you see this. Well, you can see why it's getting confusing because very solid advice, James. Now Superman is out. The press tour is finished. Do you have any time to relax? He said Peacemaker press and then sequel writing. So you can see where traditionally people would think, oh, you're doing a sequel. We talked about this yesterday. And he said, when are you going to tease a sequel? I just did. So right there, I think it seems like you're making a sequel. And then he says, yes, sorry, this is the same movie. Superman's a major role. It's not Superman 2. Then he clarifies it, obviously. So yesterday, I talked about this with Steph because Steph thought that maybe it would be direct sequel. And I said, I don't know. I think it's the same freaking movie that he was talking about. I just think that you can still do that and put Superman front and center and essentially what he said. Because with you just have to continue the events of what happened in Superman. It's going to address heavily on what's happened in that movie, but it's not going to be a Superman story. Superman will be in it. He'll be leading it. He'll be doing whatever the charge, but it's not going to be focused on like him and his family and all that. It's him in an adventure. So that's why you can kind of see the sequel. But Corey, you hear this, the Authority type rumor. Is that something that carries some weight, or do you think it'll be something different?
I don't think it's going to be the Authority because that's the one they keep expressing having the most difficulty with. Like they've made it pretty clear the Authority's not as fast tracked. So I don't think it'll tie that way, but I do think we met a lot of characters that have their own arcs in comics. And I think that's the direction. I think it's someone we met in the movie in a team up movie. I think that's a smarter way to go than leaping to World's Finest. I think that's a smarter way to go than leaping to Justice League. But the question is, like, what tone is it going to be? I think it's a really cool thing. You've got David Cornsweet as a relative unknown before the movie. Because, I mean, his schedule isn't crazy. So, like, you can do another movie with whoever the next person is going to be with David Cornsweet. So I think it's a fun way to build a universe. I think, the X-Men universe very much focused on Hugh Jackman Wolverine and then built out around it and like had a lot of other characters. And I think we look at shared universes now and think of like the weight of everything, but we've done this sort of thing before in different ways. So I'm really curious how the DCU wants to choose to go, because there are other paths, and Peacemaker season 2 he's describing as a direct sequel. So where are we at the end of this year, right? Because like when that show ends, what does that mean for our next step?
Sure. Winston?
Yeah, I kind of just I would love for James, as you have said, to just get off of social media for a little bit. I would love for him to just go be an exec. It doesn't mean that I don't love his interaction. I genuinely do. But I think I have said this over and over and over again. I really wish that studios would stop giving me their 5 and 10 year plan and just let me focus on the next 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? Just because then there's a lot of promises. And I know there's been back and forth. I was reporting earlier from Comic Book Movie that the Authority is done, that they're done with it. I don't know if that means now he's bringing it back in. I don't know. I would just rather be like, cool, Lanterns is coming, Supergirl is coming, and we know that Brave and the Bold is finally good to go. Great. Let's focus on that for the time being instead of spinning me up about all this other stuff, especially because there is plenty to already be excited about. It's not like we're devoid of things to get us hyped up. And so I guess that's just where I get a little frustrated is I'm like, you good, go right to your heart's content. You don't always have to engage in this kind of stuff. There's other things that you can engage with that I think would still get people hype. So but that's just my 2 cents.
I agree. I think he's on social media a little bit too much, and I think that even some of the stuff that he says, he's got to go back and kind of retcon some of the things that he says. And like, and I kept getting comments like, "How do you not understand? You're a wrestling guy. You don't understand the canon stuff." No, the canon stuff was so confusing. What he was saying, he's like, "Well, the stuff that you put in the previously on, and then certain things that they mention, but if they mention something that happens in the Suicide Squad, then that essentially means all of the Suicide Squad." If those events happen, if they make the Rick Flag Jr. dying canon and that Peacemaker killed him, well, then that is all tied in to the Suicide Squad, which means that entire thing happened, which also means that Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. And it means that all that other stuff that happened Will Smith, that was also canon because it ties in to that movie, which was mentioned. One thing was mentioned, which means all of that happened, which means everything is canon. So it's confusing. You can't just say, well, if they mention it in a scene, well, then that's the thing that's canon.
But I think what we're going to get, because we've already speculated with Peacemaker about him using one of the helmets to dimension hop, I think that is how that will be explained. I have enough faith in that like Gunn has too much respect for the storytelling in comics and all that he wouldn't be the co-CEO of DC Studios if he didn't. I think he will address all of that, and that's the part we have to be patient. But that's also why I'm kind of like, announce stuff as we need to announce it. That's why, because then there is too much going off. And I think the other thing that can get kind of crappy about that is the more you build that up, you just leave more room for people to be disappointed if it doesn't go out the way that you were kind of laying it out in the first place.
I agree. Coy, when it comes to the canon stuff though, man, like, do you understand what I'm saying though? Like how it could be a bit confusing to like, especially not even someone like me, but like just a person in general who's like, wait, so that stuff isn't kind of tied in? How does that work?
I think it's tricky for me because I was raised on comic books, and in comic books, when you have a new writer, the writer kind of goes like, this is what I want to keep. This is what I want to get rid of. And they do that. Like I'm used to narratives being, and I've described it as like a party, right? Like if I'm at a party and there's 100 people at a party and I have a conversation with someone and then they go off and do their own thing. And then later on, we talk about the party, they had a different experience. So my canon and their canon is different. Right. And that's how I read comics is if a writer wants to use certain elements, they can, but like, I think bone claws are the dumbest thing ever. Like bone claws are dumb. Right. I don't consider Wolverine as having bone claws. Some writers do, some writers don't. So like, I see the way that James is doing this as very comic-y, But I've said before, like some things work in certain mediums. I don't think Iron Man being Doctor Doom is going to appeal to people the same way as like a multiversal character in a comic book. So I'm curious about how that's going to translate to film. Just like with this, I'm curious how this will translate by doing a very comic thing. So I can completely understand where you're coming from, but where I have experienced canon events, like this totally makes sense to me. But if someone said it doesn't make sense to them, I won't judge them for it. I just go like, okay, but to me, it's comics.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I just think that that's hard to do when you're running a, movie. You're not running comics.
Like I said, I haven't had the experience yet of what Peacemaker does with the day-to-day audience. Like we don't know how that's going to apply. And then I'm curious how people feel. But until the day-to-day audience feels that, I don't know.
Right. Well, so let's say you're a Peacemaker fan, casual fan, and you just like Peacemaker, right? So let's say you just watched Peacemaker season 1. That's all you really know of this. You loved it. Can't wait for season 2 to come back. Season 2 comes back, and then they make reference to, because they've already said they're making reference to the fact that Rick Flag Sr. is going to be pissed off about Rick Flag Jr. So as a viewer now, you're like, oh, well, I want to see that moment. And then you go back and you watch it, and you assume that everything that just happened in that movie is now officially part of this whole DCU. Wouldn't you assume that, Idris Elba and Margot Robbie are part of this universe now too? If you were watching, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about the people in the comments like, oh, it's not that difficult. I'm talking about the casual viewer who just turns in and goes, oh, well, that's what they're talking about. That makes sense.
I definitely think that is a thing that will happen, but I think we aren't making the movies as much for the casual viewer anymore, which is why we can go so comic-y visually and tonally. And like, if we can limit the budget and make it for the people that are ride or dies, and we can make it more like comics, then maybe that's a benefit of not trying to make it for everyone.
Well, guys, Winston, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Coy has a little bit of a point in that was one of the complaints that people had about Superman being like, yo, if you're a comic fan, you're going to love this. They're like, we'll see how regular people take it. I mean, it crossed $500, it crossed 300 million here in the States alone. So
that's not, but again, well, there's two different things what you're saying here, because Coy just said you've got to be able to make, if you're going to make it for the fans, you got to bring down the budgets, you got to do that stuff. Sure. Superman and Fantastic Four did not do that.
No, I understand that.
Across 500 million, that's fine. It's not great.
I'm focusing more on what Coy was saying about the idea of it being very comic-y.
Right, but had it not been comic-y, had it not been just for comic book fans, it could have crossed over more, no?
But Winston's saying that we have enough comic fans now that we can, like, right? Like at Winston, I think like we have, it's a bigger pool.
It's a base. It's a bigger base.
Yeah, the base is bigger. I also think I think the more broad you make something, the less good it tends to be. Like if you make something for everyone, it's for no one because it's just slop. And I think that if you make things that are specific, you tend to get more people to find that.
I have a tendency to agree with that. There's this idea as well that if you try and stay in the middle, if you try and be, everybody's best friend, then you end up with like no friends because you don't really put the time, the energy, the effort.
Yeah, but you guys are talking about.
But you could say the same thing with art, with music, with TV shows, with movies, is that you want to make your sound specific to the audience you're really trying to hit. Like I understand what Fort Roger movies are, obviously, and you trying to make money, but that's all. I think, like, for example,
you can do both. I think you can make a movie that you are really going towards hardcore fans and giving them some stuff that they just love and put in there, and then you can also not lose other fans who feel like, oh, that was just a good solid movie, and a lot of the references don't go over your heads, and you just like, if you're not, I think you can do both without just being like playing in the middle. You could make. I don't think it's one or the other. I just don't agree with that.
I think when you trust your audience, like Fantastic Four did and Superman did, and like valued the audience versus making something that's for everyone, like Cap 4. Sure. Then Cap 4 had nothing to say, and it felt.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
So that's what I'm speaking to. Is like I think letting the audience find your film sometimes is a benefit, and I think if you're building a universe,
sure.
But we haven't seen Peacemaker, so we don't know how that's going to go.
You know what it is? Here's an example of two, is that I think you just said it with both Fantastic Four and Superman. I think Fantastic Four and Superman both did the same thing where they really made it for the comic book audience in the way, because there were so many Kirby and Lee like references and homages and all that stuff. I just think Fantastic Four did a little bit more subtle to the audience, where it didn't feel like it was just exclusive to the comic book audience, I guess maybe is why. So I think you can still do that without making it so, well, that's just who it's for.
And I don't think they should ever go like, this is only for comic fans. But I maybe that's what it sounded like I was saying. But I do think you should make something that is aiming at a target demographic. Sure. And we are more comic-y than ever. And that makes it more digestible to do canon events in denser space.
Okay. So that is an argument that I've always made and agree with, that what you should, and I make this argument for Star Wars, right? You can take the stuff that really resonated to the core fan base, right? Make that and expand it, like Last of Us did, season 1. And all the people who played that game loved it because that's what got them hooked on it while they were playing the game. And then they essentially did that and expanded on it for a wider audience. So you didn't have to play the game and you still got it, but they made it for the core audience and they responded to that and they expanded on it. It's the question is, can you expand on it? I always say that with Star Wars. It's like, okay, let's take that hardcore thing that people really liked, make it for the audience that loved it, but then catch a wider audience with that net. And I think that's just kind of the difference what we're saying. It's like, okay, because Superman expanded a little bit, it didn't get that huge net. It got to like 500. It hit that hardcore, and I agree with you guys. The comic book audience has grown, and it hit that audience. And same with Fantastic Four too. They didn't do phenomenal. It did fine. They both have they just went like here. They stretched out a little bit, and then it's just going to kind of teeter off. It didn't like explode like Deadpool and Wolverine. That's a movie that expanded everywhere, not just for the hardcore audience.
But I think that's not fair, only in the sense that you got to remember, similar to Spider-Man No Way Home, you had a built-in 20 years of a send-off type thing that also kind of pushed it over the edge.
Yeah, it's 100%.
So, but that's the only thing about hitting a net that wide. It's not to say that they weren't good.
You hit it with an audience in that net. You just kind of proved the point, to be honest with you, because you have Hugh Jackman, who expanded his audience through years of people who weren't even following the MCU, through X-Men and other things. And here's a hardcore character. So if you weren't following it, you just want to see him as Wolverine, you just liked him, you're just paying a ticket to see it. It expanded that much.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that you just mentioned about sustainability. That's not sustainable, because that was specifically building off of nostalgia and closing out 20 plus years.
I'm not saying it's sustainability for that.
I thought that was the whole point of this conversation, is that we want to make sure that comic book movies as a whole are doing things that sustainably continue to bring more
movies in general. How you do it, if you don't try to expand to get everyone in general, is what I'm saying. It is harder to get more people to buy tickets, is what I'm saying.
No. I get that. I guess that's the other thing, is that since the one thing that then becomes tricky to compare a Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man to a Superman and a Fantastic Four is the fact that one is starting, one is ending, and one is ending because I am playing on your heartstrings from, hey, Toby's in this one. Right. Versus, hey, I'm setting a whole brand new thing up. Do you know who David Cornswood is? You don't, but you'll learn. That's the only thing that they're kind of hard to compare each other.
Nah, Superman. But we can go round and round and round in this. Either way, what do you guys make of all of it? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. I guess we can just, I was going to talk about what Fantastic Four and Superman made, but we kind of covered it inside of that. But put your thoughts in there, guys. Let us know. Okay. We have right now 51 going into the questions. Got to hit 134 to win. I think you guys are in good shape. It's a good start to go into it. But before we do, Winston, what's going on the channel, man?
Yeah, you can find me at the Swaggy Blurred, youtube.com/SwaggyBlurred, twitch.tv/the SwaggyBlurred. Let's see, I've had my Fantastic Four stuff up there. I've been streaming over there. We've got Blurred Breakdown back, which has all been going well. I'm working on my next video essay for you guys, which I'm pretty excited about. So just come and check all that stuff out, and say what's up.
Corey Jandreau.
This is my fifth video in the last 24 hours. I've got a DC high volume Batman episode interviewing Jeff Loeb, writer of The Long Halloween, as well as the voice of Catwoman, and a lot of incredible people over on DC high volume. That's on DC's YouTube. Had a new episode of DC Studios Showcase drop, which I shot at Comic-Con like 5 days ago over on HBO and HBO's YouTube. You can check out my own Eyes of Wakanda review, full spoilers, so watch it first on my page. You can check out my reaction on Real Rejects, and then a little review, and then obviously joining you guys here. So check out my YouTube. We passed 50K. It happened. I'm going to be doing a 50 comic giveaway as soon as I'm back in action. So YouTube, Koi Jandreau, all the stuff.
Incredible. So there you go. Check out the guys as we see if we can get them a win here on their first show back together. Winston won last week without Koi. Can he do it again with Koi? Yo. Nathan Drake. Koi, you got me hyped for Moon Knight season 2.
The promo tour has begun. Hire me, Marvel.
Perfect. That was such a hilarious video. I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
My reliable source is no longer reliable.
No, he blew it. Mark Long, happy Friday. I will be listening tonight on my night shift. Have a good weekend. Thank you for doing so. For people who don't know, Spotify numbers have been going up tremendously. And
that's because every time I'm out and they're like, you do podcasts? I was like, yeah, the biggest one is Capes and Cows. Like, oh, where? And then they immediately Spotify pull it up, man. So yeah, I'm out in the streets. I'm the street team out here letting them know
it's working. So David Check, K Hoff. I watched F1 last night and I loved it. So it's still my number one. Also, best movie this summer for me. Maybe because I had no expectations going in versus Fantastic Man World. I'll tell you, Naked Gun is probably is up there too for me.
I cannot wait. Is it that good?
Hilarious.
I have heard nothing but good things.
Hilarious.
I have a lot of work to do tonight, but
Paul's great.
Yeah,
Paul's great. He's great.
We talked Schmodown on the Fantastic Four carpet.
Did you?
Made me real happy, dude.
Did you? Do you have footage of that?
CHR does. I'll email.
I want to see it.
The Hollywood Reporter was filming, but I'll see if they'll give me the raw.
I'd love to see that. So yeah, he was great. He was also good in Fantastic Four, by the way.
Dude, he's the best. I love that guy.
He's a great guy. So anyway, the Fantastic Four, but I don't know if that's going to be the top 10 right now, but I'll tell you, top 10 definitely are F1, Sinners, and Naked Gun. Those are definitely in my top 10 right now. Those three. But we'll see. There's a lot of movies.
How are you, Superman FF?
Fantastic Four over Superman.
Over Superman?
Yeah, Superman I thought was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. I just thought I was more engaged, and which is crazy because you've heard me talking all summer how much or all last year how Superman is my number one most anticipated and can't wait. I was just more locked in with the characters. It was exactly what Gunn promised it to be in Superman. It just lost me sometimes with some of the goof stuff, but it's Fantastic Four. I just have not really cared about Fantastic Four. And I wound up really caring about them, and the visuals are out of control.
It's stunning visually. I had a really good. I was so happy that Fantastic Four was as good as it was after Superman.
I forget, Winston. You said it's Fantastic Four Superman for you.
Fantastic Four Superman right now,
and you're Superman Fantastic Four, obviously.
Yeah, but I liked FF more than I expected. But the things I was worried about were still true. I still had the problems that I thought I would with Fantastic Four, but it was better as a movie than I expected.
And my other thing too is I have said I actually want to go back now since we're done with superhero movies for the year. I want to go back and watch all 4 and then really sit on it.
Yeah, same.
Because
I see a couple.
No, all I was gonna say is because there is a world where I think my ending ranking right now I would say is probably Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Superman, Brave New World.
But I want to rewatch. I'm on the same page. I want to watch. Although right now, and I think and I've said this, I think it's recency bias. I have Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Superman, Captain America. But I could easily watch Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four again and flip flop those two.
I'm Superman, Fantastic Four, which I didn't expect. Thunderbolts, Captain America. So I want to rewatch, but I want to watch a few non-superhero movies, and then I want to do the Super Jurassic Fantastic Day and gauge the whole tone.
You're gonna watch Jurassic again,
dude? I
still haven't seen it.
7 hours as a 12-year-old. I like what better day for your inner child than Jurassic Park and Superman and Fantastic? That's the best. Dinosaurs, Marvel, and DC in one day.
You've seen Jurassic World, all right? That's the thing.
I have, and I it's not gonna make my top 10, but I want to.
How about you didn't mind it? Okay,
I didn't mind it. I had fun.
I didn't despise it like everyone else. I just don't think it's good. We have to agree, though. The Snickers scene is one of the most ridiculous and stupid scenes that have ever been in a movie.
There are multiple scenes where I went, huh? Like how writers and people like filmed it.
bad.
But when I left the movie, I was like, dinosaurs. And that was what I wanted.
So bad. Matt W. Theory. Doom has taken over Tony's body after death, and the face scarring is actually the burns from the Infinity Stones. Well, that part, the second part is new, but the first part we've been talking about on the show for like the last 2 weeks. Because I saw the new Rockstars kind of post something about this, Coy, and said essentially that I think we talked about last week, Winston, that Tony, Doom took over Tony's body, and that's essentially what is going on. That's the reason why everyone thinks that it's him, but it's not.
I didn't even necessarily think the body thing. I was kind of saying that like it's not a Tony variant. It's just that Doom in this world looks like Tony. I know that sounds a little confusing one way or the other, but he just takes advantage of the fact that people think he's Tony Stark when he shows up versus him actually being anything related to Tony Stark.
Well, I think because in the comics, Coy, isn't there like a thing where he takes over people's bodies?
There is a comic where it's actually Doom in the body of, and I'm curious if they try to play with that, but it's a different use, but maybe.
Okay, we'll see. As far as the burns on the Infinity Stones, well, the problem is that the burns from the Infinity Stones, it wasn't just the burn. He
died.
He looked dead.
His whole body got fried.
Yeah, but
and he got told, "You can rest. We're good."
Right, but it wasn't even the fact that it was fried. It was the color was taken out of his body. Like when you see him in that scene, if you're looking like, oh, that's not someone who's could bounce back from this. He's gone. Like, I remember being in the theater going, oh, look at this. He's like drained of life. Also
in the comics, when they had the Doom in Iron Man's body, it was a swap and it was a buddy thing. They were college roommates. It was a joke. So this isn't like that, like it's not going to be used that way.
No, curious, like Freaky Friday.
Yeah, like they don't do Freaky Friday Doom Iron Man.
I'm
excited about that.
I'm doing a double feature on Monday. So at 4:00, I'm going to see Weapons, which I just saw. The director of that movie also did Barbarian, which I just watched yesterday.
Fun, man.
It's a crazy movie.
I like Barbarians a lot.
It's a crazy movie. Crazy movie.
Still haven't seen Barbarian. I'm terrified to do it.
I don't think it's not like really scary. It's just creepy and weird.
It just takes left turns for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, there's a couple of creepy things that happen that you might get like a jump scare from, but like it's
let me ask, because I can't remember. You guys have seen Midsummer?
I have not.
Neither of you have. Okay, because I was going to ask, because everybody kept being, this is terrifying. And I think I said it on the show where I was like, it was not terrifying at all. If I'm a white person that's going to go backpacking and just say yes to every single person that invites me to go do shrooms with them, yeah, that's probably scary.
If you saw Midsummer, from what I hear, if you saw Midsummer and it didn't bother you, it'll be like watching a Pixar movie, watching
Barbarian. Really? All right, I'll watch it today then. I literally was like, everybody's like, no, bro, and I was like,
I don't watch horror movies, and I had fun with it.
No, you know what it is? It was more like intense kind of for a while, like what's going on, and then when you find out what's going on, you're like, what the hell's happening? And then it just like throws you around, like it's just like you feel like you're in a washing machine. You're like bouncing back and forth, like, and then you come in and like it stops for a second. You're like, oh, okay, I'm fine. And then and you're like, holy shit! By the time you get to the end of it, you're like, wow, that was some cycle.
But yeah, no, I Midsummer is good. It's not the way people were talking about. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. I'm like, no, it's not. It really isn't.
I heard Talk to Me is really scary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like Talk to Me. It's scary.
Boom or bust. Favorite broke struggle meal: ramen and hot dogs for me. I think pizza slice is always the easiest, but I also think this is why I say they're not even a sponsor right now. But I tell you, Factor. You just get a whole bunch of Factor and you have them just ready to go, and it's good.
Ramen's a go-to, and like mac and cheese, pizza. Yeah, there's nothing. I'm not breaking the mold.
Yeah.
Well, you guys listed everything.
Everything, right?
Other than that, Dino Nuggies from Costco. The cheap.
I do love Dino Nuggets.
Dino Nuggies from Costco go hard.
Connor Mullis. Good googly moogly. It's Corky and Wilson. Yeah, they're back to it. Sure.
Good googly moogly is Corky and Wilson. Good.
Tim, will Disney be satisfied with a $550 box office for Fantastic Four? So I don't know if this was you that asked this the other day, Tim, but I mean, satisfied. I think satisfied is okay. We made our money back, and people are, at least those people are similar to what Winston and Coy were talking about before. The interested audience was interested enough to come see it. and now they want to see our next movie, and hopefully those people will build on that regular audience, and then Doomsday will be popular. So in a certain aspect, I think they'll be satisfied, but I don't know if happy is the right word, but satisfied. Yeah, sure. Corey, do you agree? Disagree?
I think 550 is a good new number. Like in the post kind of pandemic strike era of movies, I think billion movies are going to be more and more rare. I think we're only going to see $1 billion with kids movies and events like Oppenheimer. I don't think the superhero experience is as must see as it was pre-Oppenheimer. Yeah. So I think 550 is probably a good number, but I think we need to adjust our budgets and our expectations accordingly so that we can make things to hit that 500 mark.
If we're gonna reboot stuff, then literally reboot everything. So like, and I don't necessarily mean that we need to fully get rid of all. I'm just saying like reboot our expectations for the box office, reboot our budgets, all of that. That needs to be a thought process that people are going through as we move forward.
And get rid of movies coming out 20 days after they hit theaters, because we're never going to hit numbers if that keeps happening.
I think they stopped doing that more, so it's like 45 now.
Yeah, we're inching. I'm just saying that's a key part of the box office.
Connor Mullis, should I name my dog F1? You asked this yesterday. F14 Tomcat or RoboCop? I say RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Kenneth Colton, I always forget to use these Happy Friday, gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things for members. By the way, we had a great member stream the other day. I mean, we had a whole, because I wanted to ask the audience what they thought about what we should do for the Kickstarter. It's great ideas, really great ideas. So it was a good conversation in general. So always use those. For people who are members, you get a free super chat. So once a month. Sean McCabe, happy Spider-Man Day. Queens represent. Hell yeah. Dude, Queens was like underwater. There was the train station that I used to use for when I was a kid. We had like a massive rain here yesterday. It was yesterday. And it was some of the footage of like the train station I used to go to on Bell Boulevard. It looked like a river. It's crazy.
But you you missed the tsunami over here, man.
No, but did you get hit with? You guys get hit with it?
There was something that there was some like flooding happening off the coast, but it wasn't like, obviously it was terrifying. I guess it was one of the largest recorded earthquakes in history, but we ended up being fine, thank God. Been bad.
Pishu says Moon Knight says the goon haunts you. That's right.
That's a very specific. I think that's directed at me, because when I yelled the moon haunts you, that's from Marvel Rivals. So I think someone was making the reference to how much gooning goes on in Marvel Rivals.
100%. Missing score 44. I recently rewatched Ironheart. I feel like her AI was never there, and it was that guy the whole time. He said he was watching Riri and looking for someone more appreciative than Hood. I don't think so. I think that would take away from how smart she was, and I think that would take away from what she was able to accomplish by creating that. So I don't think that was the case. I guess you could be right, but I don't know. What do you, Winston? Do you think that it could have happened?
The only reason why I'll give a baby bit of credence to that is I am thinking about Spider-Man One More Day, and the idea that the entire time Peter is actually talking to his future child, and Mephisto essentially tricks Peter into giving up his child as well as his marriage to MJ for the whole sake of the story. So it's possible, but I agree with you. The better storytelling, in my opinion, is what it was at face value. She invented this AI, it went sideways, she still wasn't over her grief, and you end up where you end up.
Agreed. Alan Smithy. Sup, Kristian? I'm back. Also, love the Windy City Heat reference. So I knew Don Barris very well, so I got a chance to go to the premiere of that thing. It was, and I've told the story about Blue Iris doing the oral on stage at 2 a.m. It was too Scary Perry, and it was nuts. But I quoted it the other day with Bobcat and act. My favorite. Love the gag where Bobcat has a megaphone, but only uses it when the person is right next to him. Hilarious film. Have you guys ever seen Windy City Heat? Oh my God, Coy, that one I feel like you'd love.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but I feel like you would love that one. It's hilarious, and it's like, yeah. I don't want to give away.
I'm seeing the Spinal Tap at Hollywood Forever, and I'm so excited. And
nice, dude.
I've never seen the first one. I know.
No, they're playing the first one at Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Have you seen the first one?
Yeah, it's amazing. You've never seen you do. I think you'd love.
That's what people say. T, I don't care how nerdy it might be, but it made me a little teary-eyed seeing how perfect the new suit looks. That's awesome.
Be nerdy. This is Capes and Cows.
People were crying when they saw Wolverine's suit. You should be as nerdy as you want to be, man.
People ask every once in a while, like, what stuff I'd be lying if I didn't say that I teared up during that Jamie Lee Curtis and Jeremy Allen White scene in The Bear season 4. Like, it was so good. I called my wife back in. She doesn't watch the show, but I called her and I said, "You got to watch this scene." And I watched it again. I teared up again for watching. It was so good. She's phenomenal. She really should get nominated again for that scene. Alan Smithy also, sup Winston Coy, happy Spider-Man Day. There you go. Thank you, Alan. John Darius, question: with Jake Schreier's recent comments on wanting a younger, new look for X-Men, do you think Cyclops, Storm, Jean will be involved, or a new team entirely? I'm a bit worried, also excited. They'd be stupid to get a new team entirely of like people that people don't know. They should absolutely do the normal characters, but make them young. It's fine.
I think we might see some characters as professors, but I think we're gonna get like X-Men we know.
Right.
I think they need the money. They need the characters that are known.
We agreed. John Darius, I think including Fox's X-Men and Doomsday ruins the hype for the rebooted film. I think having them off screen until we see the MCU version of the team would have built up much more hype. Thoughts? That's always hard for me to say because I haven't seen the movie yet. If I could see the movie and feel that way, I could see that movie and not feel that way. So, Winston, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I don't know if I necessarily agree. I mean, I sort of agree because I feel like we kind of already got send-offs between Logan and Deadpool and Wolverine. So there's a level of like not necessarily needing to tread back down this. But if we're doing a final erasure, goodbye, all that, and then I would rather just wait and see what they have cooking up instead of writing it off.
I think if you see a giant universe end and you're missing the X-Men, it's going to feel like you're missing them now that we have tied them in because of, Wolverine and Deadpool and all those things. I think it's going to work because it's going to remind people how much they love the X-Men, like X-Men 97 did, but it's going to be them a lot older. Like time has passed in real life as well. So Seeing them at a certain age and say goodbye, I think just warms us up for the young era.
Agreed. John follows up and says, sorry for all the X-Men questions. Just been excited for this team. Shouldn't be sorry at all. Everybody's excited for this team. When do you think we'll get official casting? After Doomsday release or early 2026? What are your hopes for the reboot overall? I think before Doomsday we're going to start. You're already getting rumors of people getting cast. I think it'll be before Doomsday. But what do you guys think?
I think they should have a giant Hall H panel and bring out the X-Men and get some hype. I think Marvel could use the biggest Hall H of their life.
And especially with Doomsday coming out, right?
And especially with Doomsday being in November, bring out the X-Men in July.
Have a good idea. What do you think, Winston? You think they're going to do before or Comic-Con?
I think that it depends because I guess the question is Comic-Con going to return to form? Like if it's going to continue to kind of like move towards the comic focus that Coy has been talking about, or if they really are going to go back, because it sounds like every single one of them have kind of held out for their own little events at this point,
I think that, but last year they did it and they got the hype out of it. I don't think they had enough to promote the show. I think Marvel still owns Comic-Con pretty well. I think that they will do a big thing next year for sure. I think they should do it at D23. If I was them, I don't understand why they don't do it at D23 and hype up their own event as opposed to giving it to San Diego Comic-Con. I think that they would get more people out there, sell more tickets to D23 if they did that. I never understood why they would do that. But who knows? Geek Lodestars. I instigate my friend that Blade is coming to Marvel Rivals before he even has a movie. I love seeing him rage about it to the point that he has rants. I guess he's a big
Blade guy.
Yeah.
Some mother effer is always trying to ice skate uphill, man.
Why did Feige say that? Well, Feige said again that they're still doing a Blade movie and they're still doing it with Mahershala Ali. It's like Mahershala Ali's gonna be like 80 years old by the time they do it.
But this is kind of my point of like, stop announcing things until they're actually a thing.
Yeah, just say we don't know where it is right now. We don't know what it is. We'd love to do it with them, but we don't know where we're gonna be. We get
reports that it was still happening, and 3 days later we got a report from Variety saying that like there's no rush for Blade or Deadpool, and I was like,
yeah, right. So The no rush, we talked about this yesterday. The no rush for Deadpool is clearly because let's hold back on Ryan Reynolds right now. We'll put him in Avengers. We'll put him in, that stuff, and he can have appearances. But a full movie with him right now, with all the shit he's got going on right now, let's just focus in on everything else because we don't know where that mess is going. So let's leave it alone. I think, right, and you have other movies that could potentially do really well. So I think it's a portion of it. Do I think it's the only reason? No, but there's a portion. Missing score 44. X-23 is my favorite character, but I feel like none of her stories get big. Do you think, guys, it was a mistake or a good thing she took the Wolverine mantle? Is that in the comics?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think some of her stories get big for the niche that is a legacy character. Most legacy characters don't get as big as Miles Morales. Most legacy characters aren't the headliner that Miles became, and that's why he's such a unique character. But I think some of her stories are really personal and great. I think Tom Taylor's run got really big. I don't think she gets as big as Logan, but I think it was a really cool way to pass the mantle, and I think they both have their place in comics.
Okay. Next one after that. Armada. We need a Photoshop of Mike's face on a banana split. Why?
I don't think I understand that reference.
Me either. Was there something yesterday or Tuesday that I missed? I'm not sure.
What number are we at? Speaking of Mike.
68.
Whoa,
halfway.
Wait a minute, Jesus. Come on.
Got a shot. You need about 70 something more, but 900 people watching, got a shot. John Darius, my theory for Black Panther 3. T'Challa's son ends up becoming the new Black Panther, and Storm will also be introduced within the film. It's a perfect way to add in more of the mutants lore. If Storm is not in X-Men Secret Wars, then potentially. I think you should introduce some X-Men in Black Panther. That'd be a good way to do it. Yeah.
I think they need to start introducing X-Men. I think they were going to have Miss Marvel. I think before all the Kang stuff happened, X-Men were going to come in before Secret Wars, and I think now they're coming in after. I think we were going to get a lot more mutants sprinkled in because the Miss Marvel thing, apparently there was mutants in Cap 4, which I didn't detect. But I think now it's going to be right after Secret Wars, we meet a lot of them, but I really hope they get individual time, not just here's the team.
I thought that what's her name was supposed to because she is normally a mutant in Sabra. Yeah. So I thought that she was supposed to be one, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that movie's got a lot going on and not always in a good way.
Industrial Coy, I have grown to love your takes. For some reason, I misunderstood your vibe in the early Collider days, and now I have nothing but respect. Also, I think I saw you street jogging in Hollywood one morning. That's everything about that that's the best comment I've ever seen.
Every sentence was, I didn't know where any of this was going to go. I really enjoyed the journey we all just went on together. Yeah. I'm glad that I could to show my true self, and it evolved in your understanding of who I am. I appreciate that. I've been the same. I'm just more tired now because I'm old and do too much internet. And that probably was me. Not on social media. I just do too many shows. I've been much better. But I do like a nice jog in Hollywood. So that probably was me, and lovely to briefly pass you.
Okay, let's see. Next one after that is B. Gill Studios. Not sure if the first was received. Here it is again. Coy and Winston, did you guys see Invincible already and has season? Wait,
already has a season 5. They announced season 5.
Before I agree, but the new figures and video games are coming out. Thoughts?
I mean, I'm totally here for it. I don't know the story as well as Coy because I haven't read all the way through, so I don't know how many more seasons they need to wrap things up. Lot. Okay.
It's 3 omnibuses this big. This show can run 10 seasons.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay. Bet.
I fell off. I haven't watched season 3. I fell off halfway through season 2. I've been too busy to watch everything, and I don't cover Invincible, so it's not a thing. If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense.
Boo.
Truth. Right, do you think the MCU should just do team up films? No. I mean, there's 2 answers to that. As fans that you want to see more stories, the answer is no, as Winston just kind of shouted out, because that's the passionate answer, right? The business answer is maybe. It seems to be the only ones that really are working.
I guess my only pushback on that is like, I understand that the Thunderbolts is like unknown, but like very good movie, didn't really make all that money, so that's not necessarily an automatic win.
No, it's not. But yeah, I guess team ups with like more.
You have to build the characters before they team up. If they're just team up, then like we don't know.
I happen to agree with you guys. I'd rather have the thing. I'm just saying though, if business wise you look at it, it's like, well, the stuff that maybe.
I mean, they technically are about to. If we're about to focus on the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, that is all team ups.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they are doing that. Nathan Drake, could you guys explain the Malice story? Vanessa Kirby seems interested in that story for Sue. Her reaction to the rival skin was great.
She definitely saw the rival skin and said, oh, that's what I get to wear. Coy can expand better on this. The quick version, Sue, essentially, is it an alternate version of her or a mental break? I can't remember.
A mental break was the 90s one, which I think is what they're referring to.
Which I think would be the better route to go, to be honest with you. But the idea that Sue is like this entire time has harbored a lot of anger, like kind of shoved a lot of stuff down. And then this kind of alter ego of hers comes out, who is literally ruthless, like her name implies, in Malice. And she just starts using her powers to pretty much obliterate people, which she can. She is insanely powerful, and people think just because she can turn invisible and put up a force field that there isn't some deadliness there, but she could put a force field in your brain and pop it. Like, it's
right.
Yeah. So
well, but it's like, you want to see her do that already though?
I mean, yeah, that's like movie 5.
Right.
Or don't go, all the Dark Phoenixes we've done multiple times by the third movie. You just do that.
Right.
But I think the idea of, we got to see in First Steps some of her rage at people trying to take her kid, at Reed making suggestions. Yeah. So,
All right. Ronetta. What's up, Ronetta? What's up, crew? Fantastic Four. I love this movie. Fantastic Four. I love this movie so much. I'm going for round 3. This time with my son and his boys. Let's just say the hype is real. Fantastic Four got me hooked. It was fun, man. It's one of the first movies. Well, Naked Gun's another one that I want to see again in the theater, for sure. It's
for the year. You're saying
that I want to see again, like twice in the theater.
No, I get you, but I'm saying that's the first one this year that you felt that way. It was Fantastic Four and now Naked Gun.
Yeah, and I don't mean that I'm going to actually do either one. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I want to actually do it. The other ones, I just figured, I'll do it with like Sinners. Sinners I love, but I'm like, Sinners, you know what? I can't wait to watch that. And I watched it with Kate, and I've seen it. I think I've seen like 3 times actually. Sinners, love that movie. So, but for F1, I might have. And that one I'm going to wait. It'll be on Apple soon.
The only reason I would have seen F1 a second time was to go see it on like 40X or something like that. But I didn't. I was like, as good as this movie is, which it is, I don't feel like I need to rush back and see it in theaters again. Like, I can see it at home and be fine.
I get it.
I want to see Fantastic Four in IMAX because of the ratio.
Oh, it's great. Good. It's great, dude.
The premiere wasn't an IMAX, so I need to see
it. Big Mo Network. What's up, Big Mo? What actor who isn't really known to franchise films would you like to see cast in the MCU, and who would you love them to play? Winston, Marshall, and Coy Jandreau. How about that? No, what actor? I mean, let's see. Right now, franchise films. It's hard to look
Ben
at.
Foster as Molecule Man.
Yeah, and he was an X-Men. No, it didn't really.
I love Ben Foster. He didn't get to play anyone. I mean, his Angel was so like.
Yeah, I like
John
to see
Tucker. I want everything, man. I love Tucker from Kingdom.
We saw him in DC, but I'd like to see him in Marvel. I mean, maybe he was in Marvel, but I don't think he was. Colin Farrell.
Oh, yeah, it was Daredevil. I mean, it was Bullseye, but
yeah, but that was not the MCU.
It sounds like he's gonna be Black Panther, but honestly, Jameson Idris. I think that he is very, very good, and I think he'd be good. I love Boyega if he wants to deal with Disney.
Boyega would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one. All right, let's see. Next one after that. Missing Score 44. Kristian, is it hard to write comedy scripts? I think it's a matter of, like, look, right now I have a really great writing partner. She actually just texted me right now. She wanted to get on the phone and talk about stuff. I have a really great partner. It's like finding someone that you vibe with back and forth that you can, because comedy is so subjective, right? And this is going to be, and Winston, you read it. So do you think that this leans on the dramedy side or more comedy? Where do you think it lands?
I mean, yes, it's a dramedy, but it's the way it read, it just read more. It reminded me in some ways of Dave of this idea of like he's going through some real shit, but it's just hilarious because of how he is.
Yeah.
It's the same about your two main characters. They are so themselves that like we're dealing with serious stuff and they're just assholes.
Right.
They're just hilarious assholes.
Right. And they're trying to get their stuff together. So Mike's Movie Madness. I love the Bear season 4 as well as the scene with Carmi and his mom was hilarious. Totally see why it was nominated for best comedy. I actually had the same thought this morning. I was like, after you watch, how do you put that show in a comedy category? There's like
it's kind of infuriating, to be honest with you.
It's and I was thinking about this too, because yes, the two, I still don't understand why everybody's so like, is the guy with the tattoos on his neck, the big guy, Coy?
The facts.
Yeah, and they're like sweetheart and everything too. Is he supposed to be like? Is he supposed to be like on the spectrum or anything? Is he supposed to be like? Is there? Because
I assume they're all a little like that whole family feels a little off.
But the way they treat him like he's a child or something. They treat him,
it's odd because he's like a professional chef in real life.
Is he? It's weird
how
he's
like a chef.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. They treat him. It's really weird how they treat him in general. But anyway, the point is that he and then his other buddy, those are really like the comic relief characters, right? When those guys are on, there's some comedy going involved, and Oliver Platt will have some stuff. Then he says things sometimes, and there's some funny lines, but no different than when Paulie Walnuts or Silvio show up and they're cracking jokes. They were funny. Christopher had funny lines. The Sopranos, not a comedy.
I think the part that's frustrating is you are seeing the death of comedy, like IP shows, movies, and stuff like that, because studios have openly been like, well, I don't know, we're afraid, like we don't know if it's gonna hit, blah 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 blah. So then to make it worse by having a show which is more dramedy and really more drama and push, this is a comedy, man. Ha ha ha. No, it's not. It's not. It is funny at times, but because they feel like it's easier to win the category.
Yes,
that's the only reason, and that's genuinely infuriating.
100%. They put that in there because they know it's gonna be. You look at the stuff it was nominated against.
But like that's what's crazy, because Abbott is actually really good and it got even better this past season. So to like try and take away from something like that is infuriating.
And that's a traditional, that's a comedy.
Right.
It is frustrating. And it's one of my favorite shows on television. Francisco Lopez. So Reed basically stole Patrick Starr's idea. If you know, you know. I don't know that.
I'm trying to remember what the I don't know. You got
Connor Mullis. Wilson. Jerry Jones is fumbling the bag with Mike. He wants out now. Put Jerry in a nursing home, bro. That man makes me drink. Like the shirt in my PFP says. That's hilarious.
No. Absolutely. I'm furious. I wasn't going to bring that energy into the show right now. I knew that there were people that were going to be like, "Oh, did Winston know about mega persons?" Like, I'm aware of what's going on, but it is what it is. And Jerry needs to die. That's pretty much it.
Jeez.
He's not going to sell the team, so he's 50 million years old. So,
wow. Real Slim Berry. Kristian, what software do you use for live streams? Well, so we're going to go back to, this is why I'm going to have to send an email, because that's why I got to get people in here for this one. They're still coming in like a minute early before the stream goes live. I got to get people in 5 minutes early for the new, if I'm going to go back to the program I was using, just because I want to change the look of the show a little bit more. Right now I use StreamYard. And I stream through OBS. For me, I use my virtual camera and everything that I shoot with, and then the guys kind of just come in with their thing, and I still navigate through here. I want to be able to navigate through my whole deck and everything else too. So we're coming up with formats. But Luke has helped me first come up with potential ways to do virtual reactions with the people. So I'm looking into that first, and then we'll see what we can do with the other stuff.
Real quick, just to the Bear not being a comedy. Like, for example, if the studio doesn't win Best Comedy Series, I might burn this city to the ground.
Right, so true. All right, let's see. Next one here is Sketchcraft. And Coy might hate animation, but Winston hates paying attention even more. Love the show.
Not that I hate it. It's just, what'd you say?
Right. Where'd you go?
I really, if the studio doesn't win for best comedy, I think we're like done with awards in general.
Well, then comedy is officially dead. There's not been a funnier show on television than the studio in years.
I was just positing an original idea that the studio should win best comedy because I was paying attention to Winston.
That's right. Connor Mullis, Danny DeVito for Mr. Perfect. What does that mean? Is that actually perfect? Is that really a thing?
Mr.
Fourth dimension. Fourth dimension torments Superman mainly because he likes him, but he's just
I know he's the guy with the little hat.
Yeah,
and then if you get him to say his name backwards, then he gets vanquished. But that's like Rumpelstiltskin's thing, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Go Pal. In the early days of DVD, lots of shows had to change the music because back then they only licensed the music with first airing and one repeat. It's true. It is true.
That's a big thing with Smallville. If you have the Smallville DVDs, you go on a hell of a journey.
Dude, the Chappelle Show, he had all those great musical guests. There's 4 of the performances. The rest are gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ronetta, throwback. Naked Gun was the kind of foolishness we lived for. What now? Liam Neeson trying to step in. All right, then, Mr. Taken. Let's see if you got jokes too. He does. There was actually. Did you see the interview with him on the podcast where he was promoting the movie and they go, so the character's so serious, and your lines are so deadpan. Like, how do you keep a straight face during this whole time? And he goes, well, I think about my dead mother. Jesus. It just keeps going, and then they start laughing. He goes, "This is serious," and it's that Frank Drebin Jr. line. I'm telling you, there's a line, and I'm not going to tell it to you guys, but there's a line that everyone will remember from this movie, and it'll be quoted again and again and again and again.
I had other stuff to do today, but now I feel like I have to go see this today.
I told my dad about it because my dad loved Naked Gun. I quoted it to my dad. My dad audibly burst out laughing when I said the line. And he's not easy to make laugh like that. And I told him what the line was and he just lost it. It's so good. Jay Mobile, Rob Liefeld is hurt. I get that. But calling Fantastic Four dull and boring and saying Feige needs to watch movies feels like a lot. Not a good look though. Thoughts? Koya, I haven't talked to you about Rob lately because Rob's been kind of going because we both like Rob. Rob's been good to us, and I know you have a closer relationship with Rob than I do, but he's always been really good to me. He's been kind of he is clearly hurt by Marvel and has been kind of going off. Have you talked to him at all? What do you think about his kind of Twitter rage?
I saw Rob at Comic-Con and he's like so stoked and happy with life. Like his Youngblood thing's doing great and his life seems great. So it doesn't seem to be like anything that's like, oh, he's in a bad place. I think that whatever happened with him in Marvel, he's got the platform to like, I don't know if it's personal. I don't know if it's professional. I do think he really loved Superman. I don't know if he's of the mind of like, well, here's this other thing because we're not. Right. So that's my only theory. But he was stoked. Him, and Tim Miller talked Deadpool 2 for like a while at Comic-Con happily.
Yeah, and I like Rob. I responded to him via like that post of Fantastic Four where he said it was dull and boring, and I just did the Will Ferrell agree to disagree. And of course,
also there is that thing, that dangerous thing of saying something will get engagement and not realizing you're doing it for that purpose. Like I'm not saying Rob did this, but I also think there's an element of like I'm in a mood and I want the internet to know it, and
that's
like
true.
Maybe that was a thing.
I did the one thing though I always tell you not to do, but I did it because I just thought it would be funny. Some dirty, disgusting, smelly troll who probably smells his own farts and gets a kick out of it was like he's like, oh yeah, because he's responding to the Will Ferrell thing. Oh here's a shill gonna lose his benefits, and he loses his benefits. And I wrote back. I just sent back a gif of Matt Nost when he at the Schmodown when he does his thumbs up and goes, good one. it's like you got it. It's like the Eminem 8 Mile thing. It's like you got to come up with something new. You just got to come up with something new because it's like, and now the new thing for me is like anytime someone you got paid for this, I go, I did. When you clicked watching my review, you just paid me, asshole face. Like that's how I get paid. That's it. Whether you hate it or not, if you come into my thing, that's how I'm getting paid. And no one else paying me. If I shit on a movie, if I love the movie, you're paying me if you click on it. So that's how it works. Jay Mobile, Liefeld is hurt. Oh, we did that already. Sorry. Brandon Summers. Winston. Oh, man, they're releasing the OG TMNT. Kristian, Coyce just said that. Winston, what happened? Do you guys know that story, the what happened story? Well, I can't go into it again, but it's just, I need to make a shirt. Missing score for live action. Should TMNT use suits or CGI? Always suits. Always suits.
Always suits.
Yeah,
Always
suits.
suits.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
The original TMNT movies.
Yeah.
Specifically the first one. I love the second one just for what it is. The third one is
first one was great. I love the first one. You can tweak it with some computer stuff.
Like Jurassic Park.
Yes, tweak it, but don't just because yeah. Connor Mullis, I'll be right back. Got to count my fingers and toes again and make sure they're still there. Might have lost one along the way. I'll keep you updated. Good luck, Connor. Good luck.
I don't know if that's real or a joke, but I literally had to rush a family member to the hospital. They almost cut his thumb off.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, don't trust anything Connor says. But he's the best. Go pal. Sandman is ending for gaming issues. Maybe they didn't want to associate Pats with the taint. That's good. Also, great point.
That's kind of what I was bringing up about why Sandman ending.
Yeah, or is that looking too deep, like Sweeney eugenics? Yeah, that whole thing. But yeah, no, I don't think that's looking too deep on that. I think it's possible this we're going to keep him away from this right now. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's see next one here, as we have about 20 minutes left. 82, pretty good. Legend MM600, you guys rock. Who's your favorite TMNT? For me, I'm probably going to say it's
You seem like a Raphael guy.
Yeah.
And I would say Coy feels to me like a Mikey or a Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably closer to Mikey, and then I've been a diehard Leonardo fan for the longest time.
There you go. I just like the pizza they eat. Missing score 44. Not only is the Suicide Squad canon confusing, but they stated Idris Elba's character shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet. So did that happen? Yeah, right. Right. Which Superman was it that they did it to? That's what I mean.
It's also true.
It's not as simple. It's not that confusing. Yes, it is. It's very confusing. It's not that confusing. The amount of people who have said that. Oh, it's really not that confusing. Yes, it is. It's very confusing. John Darius, is it possible that X-Men, given the hype from longtime fans, that this film can make $2 billion like Avengers, or is this a smaller scale that can eventually build to that same hype? I think the latter.
I don't think movies hit $2 billion anymore.
Avatar says, hold on.
So does Spider-Man No Way Home. You can only do it if you have something that, again, you have to play on heartstrings. I think the nostalgia element, and it has to be a good ass movie, and it has to be an IP. It has to be all three of those things. And I even with the nostalgia of bringing in new X-Men, it's new X-Men. So
did No Way Home make 2?
No,
yeah.
Close to no.
I thought it eventually hit it.
Very close, 1.9, but no, I mean 1.9. But I mean, but close enough.
No, that's 2. We're gonna round up.
We're rounding, bro. Come on.
I'll give you No Way Home.
You were close, but Avatar. But the difference here is that that was during it was pandemic era too. But it's way harder to do now. Avatar's got a good shot to do it, but that's a freak thing. Go pal. If Wolverine doesn't have bone claws, how does he have does he throw in his arm and deploy on demand?
Because the metal claws would be built in to have apparatus to launch the blade.
Did they retcon the bone claws again?
No, I'm just saying I'd never consider bone claws canon. I think
Oh,
but his physiology was always the fact that he was built with the adamantium, or he had it before the adamantium, right?
Yeah, I think he got if you think about healing abilities, and I always thought it was ironic that they gave a healing mutant weaponized thing. He's a healer, they turn berserk. So having claws isn't part of regular physiology. Adding claws turns him into a weapon. He's Weapon X. So I always thought that.
All right, Armada, I hate the James Gunn canon stuff that he's trying to correct while not making any sense, but I can see a relation to the situation from how Judi Dench played M during Brosnan's and Craig's Bond. Right, but they don't really bring a lot of attention to the past events that have happened there. She's there, and you go, okay, I guess she's the same, but they don't really ever mention anything else, so it doesn't make it confusing. Like, oh, well, she was there for this and this and that. You just go, oh, well, they just cast her again as M. So that's the difference. Go pal. And speaking of Green Arrow and wrestling, did any of you watch Heels? I did. I watched season 1. I liked it a lot, but it was a bit of a downer as far as the story being sad. I didn't see this. I mean, Bonnie was in season 1 with CM Punk, which was great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she played his wife. But I did not. I see season 2, but I liked what they were going for. Did you guys watch? And even I don't even think you need to be a wrestling fan, because I think this is the kind of stuff that you dig. Is that they did that? What's it called? It's not called Unscripted. Shoot, what's it? It's basically like the inner workings of how the WWE works.
Unreal,
or Real. Is that what it's called? Is it called Unreal? Is that what it's called?
What, the new Netflix doc? It's
Yeah.
Unreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all of it, but I've seen clips, and it really just shows you like the process. I wish it was around when the Schmodown was around, because to me there were so many people that were part of the Schmodown that didn't understand like wrestling. This is what I would have shown them. I think there's a lot of like old school people who don't think that they should be showing so much behind the curtain, but we're in a different era now. I think that's what I'm like. Watch this. Look at how they do this and the amount of setup and how they make this work. So that was interesting. Okay, next one. Buster Barnes. These casuals everyone keeps worrying about probably don't even remember the Justice League cameo at the end of season 1. Internet nerds need to stop worrying. I get what you're saying, but I'm talking for the future in general. The point I made beforehand too is just like if you keep referencing something and then the casual can say, oh, so I guess that's part of this story, and then it's not. It's not going to hurt your business, but it's just confusing. Connor Mullis, update. Fingers and Toes are still here. Good. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate that. Sketchcraft. Movies 10 years ago had a 90-day theatrical window, and now Superman's going to VOD in 36 days. If box office matters, bring back longer windows.
36 days.
That is the reason why box offices can't hit $1 billion, is because this is the decision they've made. They have retrained audiences to just wait for it. The number of people, which I understand because of the financial times we're in, but the number of people that have been like, I'll just wait till it comes out on stream and I'm chill. Like I don't want to do all that right now. You have trained people to do that, and so they're going to.
It's true. But I guess the counter to that is that Super Mario Brothers hit $1 billion. So did Moana.
That's the family numbers, though. That's
fine. It is 1,000%. I've been very clear on that. That when you get families into the theater and there's not a lot for kids to see, and if you can take your kids to go to the movies, is why Moana did so well. It's why all these movies did so well, that you have an event.
A babysitter for 2 hours.
100%. 100%.
That's why you got like you said, Minecraft at 9:55, Jurassic World, even if bad or not, really kind of leaning towards family, and then How to Train Your Dragon, and Lilo and Stitch hit $1 billion.
That hit $1 billion. So that was all the movies that are going to hit this year. You always bet on the family movies. You always bet on the family movies to be the ones that are gonna hit the bill.
Which is why I think Wicked actually has a really strong shot. I think Wicked is more of a family movie than we realize. If it kind of falls almost in a Barbie type category, and you built up a lot of goodwill with the first movie.
But the difference between Wicked and especially Wicked Part 2, which is apparently a lot. I don't know. I just know it's supposed to be darker.
Sure.
That those movies that we just mentioned, Lilo and all those, you can take
like straight kids.
You can take 5 and 6-year-old kids to see that.
I mean, Zootopia will be
in it 10 times.
Yeah, Zootopia 2 will be in the range.
Zootopia's got a shot.
Yeah.
Zootopia's got a shot. Francisco Lopez, after watching Fantastic Four, do you think RDJ's Doom is their Doom? And 2, do you think RDJ's Doom will continue being the Doom after Secret Wars? Well, the report is that they want him to be Doom. I don't know. They're going to have to really. Both of these movies, this is the one time I said both these movies have to be 3 hours long.
I'm very worried that they're going to try to keep them short. And after seeing how much they cut out of Fantastic Four, I'm worried about this 2-hour window thing.
They have to make that 3 hours.
You just need to acknowledge, especially since it's supposed to be wrap up Avengers films, you need to let them just be. Like Infinity War and Endgame made you a lot of money and did really well. Like take the time. Don't try and force this into like a 90 to 2 hour.
No. It's true. Connor Mullis, I think that we are confusing ourselves with the whole canon thing, trying to figure it out before we can even see Peacemaker season 2. I wish Gunn would just try to explain it after season 2 came out.
Yes.
That's super fair.
Yes.
Super fair.
Yeah, I when you asked me earlier, I was like, I don't know yet.
Right.
And I am curious how it goes.
Right. That's true. I could very well say, oh, well, I was worried for nothing, because that makes a lot more sense. I guess he just shouldn't say anything yet. Just wait.
Yep.
Francisco,
I think he's excited. Like this is some, personal, some professional, but Peacemaker's his baby. Like that's his favorite thing. And I think he's just like, oh, I can talk about Peacemaker. And I think that is part of the onlineness.
I get it. I get it. I said yesterday, I should do that with Schmodown all of the time. Francisco Lopez, I hope he is not their Doom, and hope RDJ will not be back after Secret Wars. He's going to be back. I want someone else's Doom after Secret Wars. Well, I don't think you're going to get your wish on that one, but I don't know how they're going to do it. I liked Roka's theory, though. I'll tell you that basically that Tony Stark, a variant of Tony Stark, not Doom, but a variant of Tony Stark, essentially has to battle Doom at the end. And it's like, the two Downies are basically fighting. The Downey is Stark that we love, and the Downey that we hate as Doom have to kind of fight each other at the end. With Stark kind of saving the universe yet one again. I thought it was interesting. I don't think it'll happen, but I thought it was interesting.
Well, there was that behind the scenes video where he posted a comic of Iron Man fighting Doom, and I'm like, oh, all right.
All right, let's see. Connor Mullis. Sorry if it's too political, but do you like canned peas? Come on. I said don't bring that stuff up.
Dude, bipartisan show.
Come on.
I really don't appreciate that.
Unbelievable. I don't. Yuck. See?
Now he's telling us his business.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, then give me a reason why. All right, you just say they're gross. What? Give me specifics as to why it's gross. Otherwise, your comment doesn't make any sense. Jesus Christ, Connor.
You're a peas fan? You might as well do an American Eagle commercial. All right, let's see. Connor Mullis. My cat Ozzy is watching. He is happy. Good kitty. That's right. Good. All right. Trey Porter just got out of Naked Gun 2 hours ago. It was hilarious and a really fun time. Shout out to Pam Anderson. She was great. She was great.
Oh, nice comeback.
Like she's on. She was great. She was
so good with Showgirl. Or what was that called? Was it Showgirl?
Something like The Last Showgirl or something
like that.
Yeah,
I loved her in that.
She knows the role. She gets it. Danny Houston is awesome as the villain. He says something at the end. Just thinking about what he says at the end, it killed me in the theater. It was fine. I went with Matt Serra, and he was like dying. Jose Diaz, just wanted to send support and love. Thank you, Jose. Also, got to say, I enjoyed Fantastic Four more than Soups, but happy both were received well. Just have a great weekend, Jens. You too, man. I appreciate that. And yes, I'm happy that both of them did pretty well.
Yeah, they're both making like good money, not as great as the before time, but I think the rewatch on both is great. I'm really excited to see Fantastic Four in IMAX after seeing it.
Okay, next one after that. Thank you again to Jose. All right, Connor. Ladies love guys with kitties. Meow, baby. Nice. Joshua Gonzalez. Gave the rest of Happy Gilmore a chance and enjoyed it. I've been reading Justice League International. I'm excited if this is our Justice League going forward. That part I don't know. Happy Gilmore was fun to watch. So I think it was a good movie.
I had a great time with Happy Gilmore too.
It was fun to watch. Do I think it was great? Do I think it was a good movie? No, but it was fun to watch.
But the concern was when you saw Coming to America and how bad that actually was.
It's better.
This was considering this is a plus 10-year. Loved it.
Yeah, there's some.
I haven't seen it yet, but Eminem's in it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, briefly.
It's really good though.
Yeah, it is. But what I'll say, Winston, is where they and again, this isn't a spoiler because it's a golfing movie. When he finally goes back to golfing, right? When he goes back to golfing, I loved that.
Yeah.
Where they go and who they're competing against later, I think they
really dumb. I completely agree, but it felt very Sandler though.
It did. He went more of the Grown Ups 2 approach with this movie than he did the Happy Gilmore approach. But anyway, D2. Coy, what's the fire started poster referencing?
Prodigy, a band I love.
Oh, there you go. All right. Connor Mullis, if today was Wednesday, what would your favorite color be? Red rock.
Pea color.
Yeah.
Chartreuse.
Perfect. All right. Next one after that, D2. Ready for Agatha. Let's go, Kristian. Well, I got a news for you. Calling an audible because Sam's been sick she's been out of commission for like a week and a half. She's finally getting back in the studio. We're watching Captain America, Brave New World, and we're watching Thunderbolts. And then when we're done with that, then we'll get to Agatha. We're not doing Agatha first. It has nothing to do with any of it. It doesn't tie into it whatsoever. And we're doing our live event on August 9th. And I want her to be caught up with the movies more so than the shows. So we're not doing Agatha next. Those two things, because Agatha is going to take 3 days to shoot, or 2 days, probably 3. And it'll take me 2 days to shoot the other movie. So I was stressing over it. I'm like,
You got a week
And no
prior.
one's going to watch it, dude. No one is going to watch the Agatha ones. I already know it. No one's going to watch it. The other two movies, they will. No one's going to watch the Agatha thing, and it's going to be a complete waste of time. But I'm going to do it anyway. But I'm going to do it after the movies. Boom or bust? More impressive, Penguin or Andor?
Ooh,
That's up to you guys. I still haven't seen Andor.
I'm going to have to say Andor, not because of not Penguin's fantastic. It's great, but it continues on to the fantastic nature of what the Batman was already. It carried on and it captured Matt Reeves' vision. It was part of the same team, and it made it happen. Andor was coming off of stink after stink after stink after bad writing after no one caring and people just not giving a crap about this lore anymore, and making it so, oh, you can make this like actually like adults care about this also, and it's real television. So I think Andor was the more satisfying run over, but not for. I love Penguins. One of my favorite things in the last like 5 years. Corey, what do you think?
I'm the other way, but just like an edge. We're talking like a 9.8.9.9. Like for me, Penguin was able to do a lot more comic-y stuff in a really grounded tone than the Batman. Like the fact that by the end he was in the suit and the stuff with his mom. Like to me, it was like Matt Reeves, the Batman, but a little more comic-y. And I was like, whoa, they can do that in this Breaking Bad, Sopranos-y tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought what they did with the balance of Sophia was really impressive. Like Sophia was practically the lead, and it didn't feel like two shows.
Yeah.
And then Renzi, like they're both perfect. I just slightly Penguin for me because I'm a little bit more, comic than Star Wars, but they're both amazing.
Okay, let's see. Next one. You guys are getting close. We got 92. A Industrial. Ha! My dog is literally named RoboCop. I love that.
RoboCop, that's awesome. Oh, by the way, I saw The Town for the first time the other day.
It's a great movie.
Really good movie.
Oh, yeah. Big Bang OT4. Would you be interested in a Justice League movie directed by James Gunn? And if so, how would you want to see it released? The Gunn didn't jam. No, I wouldn't. I want to see him do whatever sequel he's going to do, but I'd like to see someone else do a Justice League movie. I'd like to get a different tone than the one we got for Superman. I
think it would depend on who does the other tones and how that all feels meshed together, but that'll be a 5-year down the line question. Don't know yet.
Okay. Let's see. Next one here is Connor Mullis. Good googly moogly. That thing is juicy. All right.
Googly moogly, that thing is juicy.
Russell Amador. What's up, Russell? Do you guys think we'll get an official press release for Brand New Day that would include cast and story details? Eventually.
Hopefully not for a while, though. I like this fun.
Yeah, for a bit. Busy B, happy guy. Hey, guys, happy Friday. Kristian, I highly recommend last night's Y-Files episode. Okay, although AJ debunks a lot of it, the topic itself was interesting. Well, he debunks a lot of this stuff. I don't know how much AJ really believes in any of this stuff, to be honest with you. I think I love Y-Files. I think it's great. But I don't know how much he really believes, if anything. But I will say that I love how highly produced it is and what they cover. So I'd love to check it out. So thank you, Busy B. Hoot, Shoot, Riot. Had a great back-to-back theater experience. Together and Naked Gun. I hear good things about Together. That Cosby, don't, and Spaghetti had the theater. No. Don't give any weight. Don't give any.
Just take it down.
Buster Barnes, I did. Buster Barnes need James Gunn to direct a flash fight scene. Him zipping around, beating up 100 goons to a needle drop would be absolute cinema. I mean, but I'd like to see somebody else direct it too.
Have you seen Together yet? I know I didn't read the second half of that. I'm seeing it Sunday. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I want to check that out. I want to check it out also. That's Dave Franco, right?
Yeah, Dave Franco and Allison Brie. I talked to them at Comic-Con.
It looks really good.
Dave's trying to get Neon to pay for my wedding.
Oh, really?
To promote Together. And I'm like, dude, let's make it happen.
Great. SJC360. What's on your X-Men movie wish list? Mine is the scene of X-Men at the Met Gala.
Because there is a gala. There's a Hellfire Gala, and they do all those outfits. That's hilarious. SJC.
That would genuinely be funny.
Busy Bee, more support for Coy and Winston together again. Yep, they're back. Trying to take out Roxy. See it? Team ups in this show works just like Marvel.
They're like 30 away, guys.
Yeah. Julius Wyatt, Micah Pearson wants to be traded. Sorry, Winston.
Yeah, I'm aware.
You think they're going to trade him?
I mean, the speed version of this. Jerry invited Micah over for a few days. They were kind of just talking about stuff. Then Jerry was like, cool, that's your deal. And he's like, wait, what? Now I want my agent involved. Jerry refuses to talk to his agent. And no matter how much they've been trying to do that, Jerry just keeps disrespecting him. So Micah's like, I want to be in Dallas, but I don't want to be with this organization anymore. So
come to the Giants, man. Love Sinners. Go, Lassie. Go song is stuck in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Adian Cossack. On a bit of a delay, but Black Panther 3 as the 2/28 release. Can you introduce us to Storm and have Xavier recruiting at the end credit scene? Thoughts? Absolutely. I think we all agree that there'll be X-Men cameos in that for sure. Yeah. Nathan Drake, better comedy, The Martian or The Bear? Well, The Bear will win on that one. The Bear will win on that. There was like no comedy in The Martian at all. I don't know how
making potatoes out of poop.
Yeah. I can see the argument. If someone wants to argue with me with The Bear, they can make an argument that I'm like, okay, I see where your argument is.
Donald Glover was actually very funny in The Martian.
True. That's true.
And that scene wasn't scripted of him falling, which is hilarious.
I heard about that.
B-Town, you think we will see Hulk's son in Brand New Day? No.
I hope not.
No, I think that character is. I think that when I was watching She-Hulk, I said, "You're never gonna see that character."
No. You'll see him in Secret Wars. I think they'll close that out because
cannon fodder.
I think if not cannon fodder, I think you're just setting it up in the sense of in Secret Wars with Battle World, there is like a Hulk village. So I think you will see him in something like that.
Kaz, in my opinion, DCEU doing MOS straight to BVS was one of the biggest mistakes. I agree. So I'm still hopeful Gunn will do a direct Superman 2 sooner rather than later. I hope that they do know that, because that was a big, massive mistake for what they did. They jumped right away and tried to rush to a team-up thing right away. Yeah.
I think that's why this next one isn't going to be like too big of an escalation. That's why I'm curious who it is.
Childish NH, what do you guys think is the untitled MCU movie for July 23rd, 2027? That's probably X-Men, right?
X-Men.
In between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Especially if they're casting now. Yeah. And I think it'd be really cool to have.
But in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, though?
Oh, in between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, right. No, 2027. Oh,
I thought that. So when is Spider-Man? I thought Spider-Man was supposed to be in between the two of them.
That's it. No, that's before.
No, it's before them.
That's Spider-Man
a year from today.
Yeah, Spider-Man's first and Doomsday. That's a good call. So what would it be? So what's DS? What's DS3?
DS.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Shang-Chi 2.
Maybe
if Daniel Dayton Craig is doing Spider-Man and Spider-Man's beforehand, Spider-Man will be wrapped.
Yeah, because Thor 5
he could go and do Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah, because Thor 5, I think Thor's just going to be in Avengers. I don't think he's going to do a separate movie. And no, Doctor Strange, I don't think it's going to happen.
Not soon.
Maybe. Yeah.
It'll happen, but not soon.
Maybe Shang-Chi. Brandon Summers, basically what happened story involves Kristian being disgruntled with our youth, almost breaking Kristian's brain in public. That is pure fact. Pure fact. The Trader Joe's employee kid who's wearing a ski cap, probably 19 years old, as I was checking out stuff, and I asked him if they took Apple Pay, and he goes, "What happened?" He says, "Someone who works at the store." Not, excuse me, sir. What did you say? I don't know. I don't know what you said, sir. What was that? Do we what? What happened? Were you at home? Idiot. AC 360. With China a land of no money for Hollywood, what's Hollywood movie to adjust?
The move, as we've said a bunch of times, is you have to bring back lower budget things to get people to go in the seats. Start making these smaller comedies and stuff.
And but it's also bringing down even your big movies. You got to bring it down. You got to figure out a way to get those costs down. J Mobile, if Gunn is depending on Peacemaker to explain the DCEU continuity, isn't that a mistake? Goes to the TV show homework thing to me. Yeah, it does. Unless he just thinks no one's really going to care except the hardcore fans. C Black, I think Disney only have the IPs to make $1 billion. Well, again,
there's other studios. I just think that
Nintendo says otherwise.
Yeah, I think Disney does have Avatar and Marvel, but they're like Universal and has plenty of great stuff. And Top Gun, like Paramount it's about the movie.
Yeah, Jurassic made 750, almost 800.
Yeah.
So, Jack Lewis, since we are talking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I just want to share a recurring nightmare I've had since childhood of being chased up a hill in my friend's backyard by the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja characters in their practical suits. To answer the questions, CGI.
Well, see, the reason you were being chased, you clearly did something. So that's on you, Jack Lewis. That was probably your parents paying them to come whip your ass because you weren't doing what you're supposed to do. Take out the trash, goddammit.
We stole their pizza. Russell Amador, if rumors of Ghost Rider being cast in Doomsday is true, who do you think is playing him, and what role will he play to the story of it all? I'm kind of warming up to the idea of Gosling.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Gosling, I think I really do think that Josh Hartnett is going to be responsible for that. And I think because of the relationship he has with Star Wars now too and Disney, I think it's probably going to happen. Connor Mullis, Dr. Doom better say I hate you 3000. Please no. Rafts UK Rafton. Coy, were you at Fat Man Beyond recently?
I was at this recent taping, and he asked some comic date questions, and I answered. Even with a broken voice, the audience recognized me, which I appreciate.
I love that. Shelf Presence, the end of HG2, Havoc Gilmore 2 felt like Caddyshack 2. I had fun. Yeah, it fell apart at the end, unfortunately. I liked a lot of it. It fell apart. Rafts UK Rafton, a guy in the audience sounded exactly like me.
It was me. I went to go support Kevin. It was great. And Mark, who did Eyes of Wakanda. They both crush always.
That's awesome. SJC 360. If you were James Gunn, would you hire Joss Whedon to direct a DC film? Probably not. No. Probably not. Not even for anything else except the fact that I don't think the style fits either. Connor Mullis, canned peas are slimy, too salty. Come at me. How dare you, sir? Stop bringing
propaganda.
Tyler Pfeiffer, thoughts on a modern Robin Hood movie?
They've spent the last 10 years making one a year.
I know. I think there's a problem. I think the problem is the Russell Crowe Ridley Scott one had so much potential, but they didn't potential. They didn't even make a Robin Hood movie. They made what happens if he becomes Robin Hood, and right when he becomes Robin Hood, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to the credits.
It was like an origin for a trilogy. It's a sword and sandals movie.
No.
Make it that,
dude. Nothing would have been funnier than to literally do the Michael Bay end of Transformers thing right after he comes Robin Hood. Yeah. What I've done.
Exactly. Busy Bait. The family wants to go see Naked Gun this weekend, and I'm the only one who hasn't seen any of the originals. Will I still enjoy it going blind? The answer is yes. You will enjoy it going in blind. But I don't think. I do think you should see the original, but you know what? It also might allow you to even enjoy the originals even more after you see this one, if you enjoy it. You have to understand the tone going into it. It's a goofy, silly spoof movie that does not happen, and it really pays homage to the original. And if you like that kind of stuff, then you're going to dig this. If you don't like that kind of humor, then you won't like the originals either. Peter Stone, as far as the Peacemaker topic, I think the previously in the DCU before episodes and show will tell you what's relevant or canon for the show. Okay, but previously on, he killed my son. Oh, okay, so everything that happened in Suicide Squad because it was that mission that happened to Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. So it doesn't work. Okay, Julius Wyatt, isn't it weird Dune 3 movie hasn't moved release date yet? No, not necessarily. What's it going up against? It's going up against Star Wars. Oh, it's going up against Doomsday.
It's Doomsday.
That's right. So yes, it is weird. Yeah. So anyway, don't need chili dogs. That's just from the trailer. So, all right, guys. 98, a hell of a run. Hell of a run. It was a good run. It was a good run. But nonetheless, we are going to get into this weekend. Have a good weekend. Coy, tell us.
YouTube at Coy Jandreau. Trying to use TikTok at Coy Jandreau. Trying not to read comments at Coy Jandreau. Everywhere, and check out my shows on DC, on HBO, and all my THR interviews. I did 13, and they're up on their YouTube. And I got to sit down with Dexter, with Rob Reiner, with so many legends, with Dave and Allison. It was lovely.
At the Swaggy Blurred, YouTube, Twitch, all the social media stuff. Got some good stuff coming out this weekend, and I'll be back next week too.
Thank you guys for being here. As always, thanks to Coy and Winston. As I said to you guys before, we're very close in telling you everything going on with the pilot, the Kickstarter, all that and more. Really going to be leaning on all of you to make this dream happen. So that being said, Apple Podcast, Spotify, we're going to be live, myself and Sam, in New York, Green Room 42 on August 9th. I hope you can be there. Please go and check it out. I'll have out of the theater reactions for both Freakier Friday and Weapons on Monday. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys on the flip side, and I'll have the intro back next week. Bye.